everyone, and welcome to another Tinfoil Day. How's it going? And we are doing a Tinfoil New Year today. How's everyone doing? Dinosaur costume 1. So there we go, I'm a dinosaur. We did it, we win, hooray. Hi everyone, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful last day of 2024 so far, or first day of 2025 if you happen to be across the international date line. How's it going, everyone? I have some root beer. We're going to enjoy some lovely tinfoil today, before I have some celebratory stuff tonight. Got some stuff to make some pizzas, have a bunch of snacks, some sparkling juice. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun night. Halloween Town, thanks for a 3-stream streak, says, do the dinosaur dance. I don't know how dinosaurs dance. I don't know how dinosaurs dance. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Is this something? Is this how dinosaurs dance? Anyway, so we got all sorts of stuff today. We are gonna be playing conspiracy bingo, so get your bingo cards ready. And importantly, chat, you know I haven't had health insurance. You know I have gone long without health insurance. Well, I can have health insurance, but I gotta pay for it. So in order to pay for it, today, we're doing a thing with the tip link. All tips today are doubled. So if you do any sort of tip today, it's doubled towards the costume goal. And this is a long shot, but I thought we'd do a stretch goal since it is New Year's Eve. If we somehow miraculously do the costume month goal today in the next 24 hours, guess what, chat? We're doing a costume year. We're already at, what, 250 days right now? I don't think that number's high enough. If we do the costume goal today, it goes to a costume year, adding 110-something days. So we will have an even costume year. Again, I don't expect that to happen, but I thought, fuck it, why not? Let's give it a shot. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get into the tinfoil. Get your bingo cards ready. We have a bunch of weirdness to look at. So let's get into it, shall we? What are we gonna start with? There's no CC today, unfortunately. We do have more flat Earth stuff, but we've been covering that a lot lately. So let's start with something other than flat Earth. Let's start with... Oh my goodness. The Channeling Eric channel has a new guest. You might remember them from when they channeled a Neanderthal, when they channeled Adolf Hitler. Today they're channeling the religious figure Jesus of Nazareth. So let's listen to their interview with Jesus. So near his birthday, too. Icky Neko with a $20 tip says, so you won't get down with the sickness. Thank you very much for the tip.
Eric's doing a bow to you. He's doing a bow to everybody.
Oh, well, we bow back. I love you, Eric.
I love you, Mama.
Okay, so.
Don't talk for people's dead children.
These are all questions from the community. And actually, we do have some for Joseph, too, but that would probably be way down the line on other parts.
Munster, thanks for following.
So, part 1 of the Jesus interview. Do you have him, Veronica? B?
That would be embarrassing if she didn't, wouldn't it? Do you have him? No, actually, I don't. I couldn't contact Jesus. I'm sorry. I know I was supposed to book him for this, but man, he's really busy this time of the year.
Yes, and Eric says, I have my Jesus sandals on.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, you better not bark.
Yes, we are ready, and the energy in the room is off the hook.
Oh, I bet.
Jesus is in the house, and the energy is off the hook. In the shizzle, y'all. Hydrate, can do.
Wow. Is it true to... Well, thank you for agreeing to this, Jesus. I love you so much. I call you yes.
Thanks for agreeing to this, Jesus. I love you so much. That's not a very professional way to start an interview, ma'am. Don't tell your subject you love them.
When you're part of the divine team, I hope that's right.
Yes.
Okay, good. Is it true that you are a first
Holy shit, Unstable Deadbeat with a $200 tip says, Happy New Year, Hannah. Thanks for all the wonderful entertainment in 2024 and much more to come in 2025. Holy fucking shit, that's a big tip. Getting closer to costume year. Holy fuck. Overthought with a $10 tip says, Happy New Year. May the foil stay shiny and all of your right be reserved in 2025. Bittergrin with a $20 tip says, this is for the costume year, but what kind of deal can we get for another year-long piss moratorium? I'll tell you what. If you fill this bar today, not only will we do a costume year, it'll be piss moratorium for the duration of the costume year. Is that fair? Unconditional Prong with 30 months says, 30 months, my Blue Sky has a Doomer movie playlist now for you to check out. Also, Happy New Year. Ooh. I enjoy. I will like this. I wish they had a bookmark thing. I hope they had a bookmark theme, too. Ooh, Gummo. I watched Gummo for the first time recently. What a really detestable, entertaining film. Hard to watch, but hypnotizing. Really great. Enjoyable dirt. Is how I would describe Gummo.
Firstborn soul. Firstborn referred not to birth order, but to rank. The firstborn possessed the inheritance and leadership. Therefore, the phrase expresses Christ's sovereignty over creation.
What if you watch Jeff so much that we kind of like ogling at the piss people? What has Jeff done to you?
After resurrecting Jesus from the dead, God gave him the authority over the earth. Jesus created the world, saved the world, and rules the world. Is that true that you're firstborn soul, as this person puts it?
Is it true that you're the firstborn soul? What an interesting question that means nothing. Mandrake PoE with $8.45 says, I was going to buy bits, but have this instead. Also, Piss Wars 2? Bittergrin with $30 says, for Piss Moratorium. Thank you. Wow, this is going... We might actually end up having costume year. Fuck. We'll see what happens. If Nemesaur shows up, I might be fucked. We'll see what happens.
So Eric's laughing because he says, could we start off any more complicated?
I know, right?
So, Jesus is the king of simplification, okay? So,
What?
as I'm
Where does it say that in the Bible? The king of simplification.
hearing it from him,
I think you meant king of multiplication. Did you see how many fish and bread that dude made?
are you asking me if I am the firstborn incarnation of God?
So every stream of 25 gets a costume. It would up the number of days we have now to a year. So right now we have 247 costume month days. This would get it up to 365. So it'd make it an even year in a costume.
God himself.
Inclusive of what I have already done, which is about a month and a half.
Is that what you're asking? Would
I don't
that
know.
be helpful?
And piss moratorium.
I don't
During
know.
that.
So to answer your question, I am the first prophet.
Oh, of course, Unstable Deadbeat. Everything in this bar counts towards the piss moratorium.
Yes, I'm a prophet, but I'm also the son of God that has the the spark of God in me so prominent.
Is it that you came in without spiritual amnesia? Is that a factor?
Spiritual amnesia. Wow, they're just pulling they're just pulling out words like they mean things. Do I get 100% of tips? I do. Mayo Emery's of Caldera with a $5 tip says a drop in the floating wet ball for costume year. Thank you.
Or did you have at least an element of spiritual amnesia?
We all have an element of spiritual amnesia. Mine was extraordinary in the sense that, I was the
What's my stance on dragonflies? Do I hate them like butterflies? I'm not a fan, but I don't hate them as much as butterflies. The body to wing ratio is less creepy.
original.
Did we mark word salad yet? No, but we can. We can do word salad. That's fine.
So there was no life before.
Oh shit, Annie Kai with $100 tip says you're underestimating your viewers who got year-end bonuses. True! We're almost halfway to costume year! God damn. And Rashar Wilco, thanks for subscribing.
Oh, I see.
I hope I have that right. It's
Yeah, I
very,
think it sounds right.
it's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna even get more complicated, probably. Were you born into that body, Jesus, or were you a walk-in?
Were you born into that body or were you a walk-in? Is she saying, did Jesus take over the body of a baby that already is existent? Is that the question, basically?
I was born into this body.
Okay. And have you assisted from the other side in creation of Earth human beings?
Understanding that assisted means I had a hand in the creation of human beings. Yes, in the sense that I am an extension of God. So I would answer it yes.
But aren't we all a whole and part of God?
Exactly. Now you understand.
Yeah.
Questions
What?
can be complicated because I am not different than you are.
Okay.
So he's not uniquely, they're saying Jesus is not uniquely the Son of God. We are all the children of God. Which, like, I've heard that before as a theological belief, but, like, I don't know why they're this willing to just be like, this is objectively true. My personal belief of this religious tenet is
when
a
is
thing.
your real birthday? Because if Vatican says it's not December 25th.
Aren't Jesus and the Father one and the same in most sects? Yes, usually. It depends upon their view of the Trinity, which is a contentious topic.
I think that the pagans
I've
just
never seen a triangle make people this mad.
they just wanted to like take over the winter solstice and sort of compete with the pagans to create December 25th.
It's a good party, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My birthday is actually calendar year in March.
Okay. All right. I heard that there was sometime in the spring. What did you
Holy crap, Captain Rachel with a $100 tip says, here's to another year of de-stressing from teaching high school by watching Hannah in various amusing outfits. Thank you so much, we're over halfway to the costume year!
learn in India?
Jesus, this is insane. Thank you everyone for the incredible generosity. You have all been so incredible. I really couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Humility.
Oh, wow.
I learned the true meaning of compassion and equality, even though it wouldn't appear that there would be a sense of equality in this place called India. I experienced
What?
it on a different level.
Wait, what? You saying Jesus went to India? Nerdy, thanks for 110 stream streak, says Black Panther on TV Plus. A Hannah stream? Sounds like my kind of New Year celebration. Happy New Year.
How many years ago was the human race created? I mean, we could go way back to the Anunnaki and the grand experiment with Sophia the geneticist, with Homo erectus and 28 different species of aliens creating humanity, human beings. So
Eric is saying, let's keep it simple and let's just say there never was a time when there wasn't some form of human life.
Okay.
There's never a time where there wasn't some kind of human life is not accurate and also very anthrocentric. Interesting.
Even if it's hybrid. Okay.
Exactly, Eric says. Now we're getting it.
Okay. Who was your father when you incarnated as Jesus? I heard it was Archangel Metatron incarnated on another planet at that time.
None of this rings true for me. Now, Jesus, I'm speaking for Jesus now.
Okay.
None of this rings true
I'm
for
speaking for
me.
Jesus
I'm
now,
not
not
sure
your
where the
son.
stories come from, but I would say to you, I was guided in by a team of angelic beings.
1 second, I gotta soothe the kitty. Hey, buddy. Oh. He's giving a heckin' mew.
Who still surround me.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
wouldn't attach a label to them or a name to them,
Yeah.
but yes, a group of angelic beings guided me in.
Okay. I heard that your mom was raped by Roman soldiers, and that's how you were conceived. And, it's almost sacrilegious to even to have that spill out my
Whoa!
mouth, but you don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I've heard that said before, so I'm not shocked at her saying that. I'm shocked that she believes she's talking to Jesus and is like, hey, so did your mom get sexually assaulted? Like, what an insane thing to think you're asking a person. Did you miss anything good, Nemesaur? Nemesaur, I'll have you know, because I know you in particular were really big on wanting costume year. If by the end of today we get to this tip goal, it'll be costume year. We will have 365 days in a row of costumes. So that's what you missed. And P moratorium during it. Lennon Cat says, I like how this woman is implying that she has worked out 2 millennia of debate surrounding Christian dogma effortlessly, and it just happens to go against most theological principles in the religion.
He said, let's address everything and get it all out and get it clear.
Okay.
That is not the truth.
Good.
It is not my conception. That is not how I.
Ashley One Up with a $5 tip says, get yourself some meds and start buying costumes. Thank you. Also, I should say I'm doing this promotion because I need to pay for health insurance. I am getting health insurance with the new year, but gotta pay for it, so.
Came to be in this world.
They're channeling Jesus, yes, and her dead son.
And people that want to believe that, there's nothing you can do to get them to believe otherwise. We call this free will. We call this freedom of thinking, freedom of choice. But I am here to tell you that is not how I entered this world.
Thank God. Was Joseph your actual biological father?
God was my biological father.
Okay.
God has sperm confirmed. Is that a theological debate? There we go. Yahweh, or not Yahweh, L has sperm. Fedekagami with 36 months says, my 4th sub baby, Hannah, you're very good at breeding. Thank you. This sub baby's name is going to be Josephus Montana. Josephus Montana. Hey, Just a Peach, how's it going? Happy New Year. Buddy, don't do that. Is your hand caught? Oh, you're good. Okay.
All right. Were you a contactee when you were Jesus? I don't know what that meant. Does that mean like aliens contacted you? Maybe? Contactee?
I don't understand that question. I'm not sure. And Eric laughs over here because Eric's saying, but you're Jesus. So Jesus, and I want to say just for this, Jesus has a very cool personality. I mean, he's very kind of really humbled, and he's got kind of like a white t-shirt on and some kind of, I don't know if they're jeans, but he's very casual feeling.
Hold on, I think we have a video of this Jesus. 1 sec. This Jesus has been spotted recently. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, probably. We'll be fine, though.
Party with you, Jesus. Rock me, sexy Jesus. He died for our sins. You gotta believe us. Rock me, sexy Jesus. All night long.
That's from Hamlet 2, by the way. If you've not seen Hamlet 2, I'd recommend it. Pretty funny. Lennon Cat with 50 bits says, just gonna leave this here, Leviticus 19:31. Do not turn to mediums or necromancers. Do not seek them out, and so make yourselves unclean by them. I am the Lord your God. Yeah, didn't Solomon get into trouble for consulting with mediums, quite specifically?
To me,
That's what happened in the Jamie video.
yeah, and Jesus says that
Saul, thank you. It was Saul. My bad.
he presents as to what's in the heart of the seer. So that's a very cool fact. Sorry, I digressed from the question. I was listening and they were both talking. What was
Did aliens ever connect or communicate with you when you were incarnated?
I don't have that as an experience.
Okay.
Just leave it at
Okay.
that.
All right, good. Why does the Seth material say you really didn't get crucified, but someone else died was crucified in your place? Is that true? So what you told, what
I think that's
his
the
historians have
Islamic belief
found
about Jesus.
is that you did live a life after that period of time in France. And there's evidence of you having a family, marry, some kids, some who died.
I'm sorry, is she talking about the stuff put forward in the Da Vinci Code? This is the plot of the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown.
So what's the truth?
I knew that was going to be front and center.
Yeah.
I understand
Spoilers for the Da Vinci Code.
that this is a big,
It's like 20 years old. You have no excuse.
complex issue for people. I want to explain it like this. Jesus, the energy that you know as Jesus, is a fragment of my being.
Oh, okay.
That fragment went on to go home.
Okay.
Another fragment, went on to live in another life. You
Okay.
can call me
That's convenient. They get to have all of it's a multiple choice, like, ending to the story. Oh yeah, I definitely really did die a martyr, but also I went off and did these things. Every theological point is true. It's the ultimate universalism.
Jesus as it is one and the same.
I got
So
you.
in that regard, yes.
Well, can you explain what happened after your crucifixion? Like, did you die or did you have a near-death experience? See, what I've heard is that you learned how to lower your respiratory rate and pulse so much that it seemed like you were dead, but you really weren't, and you were put away. I don't know.
Wow, that's really impressive that he made it look like he was crucified. Wow, what a cool trick. David Blaine could learn a thing or two from this Jesus guy.
Or a cave or something, and then others got you up and rescued you, took you away.
My soul left my body.
Okay.
Okay, I think I've had enough of the Jesus. We could probably move on. Let's take a look at the bingo card. We don't have much yet, but we will take a look. If it wants to actually switch. So Jesus is a superhero, of course. Let's see. What did we have? I thought we had at least one thing. We had word salad. Was that it? It might have just been word salad. Okay. I did piss miss. I may need more Jesus, true. I'll promote this one more time, and then I won't for another hour or so. I'm getting ready to get health insurance, which I haven't had for quite a while, so we're doing a promotion. If we get the costume month goal today, then it'll up the amount we have now to a full year, adding over 100 costume days and a moratorium on any pee-related videos, any pee drinking videos for the duration of costume year. If we don't fill this out, whatever is in the bar will still be doubled, so it still counts for double tips regardless. Alright, sorry for the shilling. Let's move on and do the actual content. I apologize, by the way. I know that's annoying. I also don't like capitalism. Speaking of pee, here's a guy who did a song about how much he likes drinking pee.
Good morning. Sure, there's juice and coffee and tea. Yet for this modern man, this body thrives on peace. Sickness cannot touch me, nor can aging. The water of life has got its own divine timing. So let it flow. Drink as much as you can. Discover why
We can't make you sing the 12 Days of Pissmas in 2025. We might, it depends, I guess. We're already on day 50 or something, and plus the 365. We might make Pissmas. Not sure, though.
Drinking man.
Yeah, they think pee makes you age slower. Yeah, that's like a big part of their thing.
Well, it knows when to serve you the perfect blend of ultra-filtered nutrients, the finest nectar of immortality. No money can buy it. It's Orin for me.
You could buy pee. What do you mean no money can buy it? There are people who sell urine for drug tests. You could probably find someone and be like, hey, how much can I pay you for your pee? I'm not saying it's going to work 100% of the time, but you could find pee for sale.
So let it flow. Drink as much as you can. Discover why I'm a pee drinking man. Yeah, so let it flow. And drink
Pee
as much
drinking
as you
man.
can. Discover why I'm a pee drinking man. Well,
What did
pee
you just
drinking
click
man.
on to? We look at conspiracy theorists and the weird things they believe. This guy's an alt-health weirdo who drinks pee, and this is a song about how much he loves drinking pee.
May not be the most common of men, no, but his youthful energy and appearance are attractive and sweet.
But you smell like pee, and that's not generally attractive, just for the record. No one smells a dude and is like, oh, truck stop bathroom. That's sexy. No one's thinking that. Stop it. Just drink water. God damn it.
Again and again, again and again.
Tea Time Tea with a $50 tip says, let that pee content sit for a long time and crack it open again in a year. Okay, virtually no one. I know that there are people all over the internet with weird kinks. You know what I mean, goddammit.
Let it flow. Drink as much as you can. Discover why I'm a pee drinking man. So let it flow. Drink as much as you can. Discover why I'm a pee drinking man.
He's a pee drinking man.
Discover it.
Don't go, Mr. Duck Sauce. We're almost done, and he doesn't even actually drink the pee. I very specifically picked this video because no one drinks pee in it. Can you not even handle someone talking about drinking pee? You're all cowards. You're cowards. You're yella like the pee. Bumble Homestead with a $10 tip says costume closet contribution. Thank you.
Lyrics Brother Sage, music Matt Senna.
That's the only pee content today, I promise. That's it.
Okay, my friends, I woke up this morning with an attitude, and you're about to hear about it right now.
Okay, so now it's time for Mud Fossil University. This is Roger. He is a technical term would be crackpot. Basically, he, I think, is like an ex-engineer or something, like a retired engineer. And he has convinced himself in his retirement that he is a super genius that knows everything about every scientific field. Geology, biology, mathematics, physics. He thinks he's blown them all away. So, let's listen to his delusions of grandeur. Mayo Emery's of Caldera says if his pee smells sweet, there's something very wrong with his health. That's called diabetes, as Wilford Brimley would say. Diabetes.
Because there's always one guy that destroys everything, and we're going to talk about those one guys right now. Okay, my friends, so why did Roger wake up in such a mood today? Well, it's because of the one guy problem. Einstein, it destroyed science, absolutely destroyed physics for
Yeah, no one respects Einstein. Fuck that guy. He ruined physics, I guess.
over 100 years because he was the one guy. And they still have to follow his complete wrong science. Light
Doesn't understand the scientific method on the bingo card. Roger seems to believe that science is a cult of personality where people just follow the things Einstein said because he's Einstein. No, physics is about mathematics, and he wrote mathematics and figured out mathematics that, like, have proof. Math has proof. You can, like, put things into the formulas and make sure they come out okay, and his do. We've had, like, a century of studying relativity. He was correct. Like, you can dislike him personally if you want. I don't know why you would, but if you have a grudge against the guy, whatever. But to say that he's, like, wrong is just beyond delusional?
speeds up, slows down. I have shown so much of this in
That's true. Einstein has found 0 boob mountains, no cavusies, no dick rocks.
I'm frustrated now, and I'm pissed off.
Einstein wasn't great to his wives, to be honest. That's a shame. Like Theodore Geisel.
That nobody will pay attention to reality because of the one guy. And it happens to be, in this case, Einstein, 100 years ago or more, is the one guy destroyed everything. Light speeds up. It's insanity to say it doesn't. There it is right there, speeding up. We did this, and light travels that way and that way at the same time. Yes, it's a big discovery that came because it bounces back. This is no mystery. None. None of this stuff is a mystery, but one guy stops everything. And who is the one guy to stop in this research here? It's the guy that made these pictures right here.
Does he think that physicists don't actively measure things? Interesting. Trey says, Einstein was so good at creating mathematical models that he predicted that either the universe has to be constantly expanding or contracting in order for a lot of mathematical equations to start balancing out with different vector points he had seen. The dude called the expansion of the universe. That guy was a real Einstein, that Einstein.
From Fermilab. The one guy. We found him in our light experiment.
Emissor with $100 tip says, but Terrence Howard taught us that math is wrong. That's true, and he was an Iron Man. So you can't say he's wrong. Only $250 away from costume year. This has been an incredible stream. God damn.
Contacted Fermilab, and the one guy said I was a tinfoil hat guy and an embarrassment to science.
I wonder why he thought that.
And you can't see photons with CMOS. And I protested.
Who was a real Einstein before Einstein? Newton? Galileo? Would probably be examples of famous scientists that would be brought up and, like, synonymous with intelligence, be my guess.
And we went vigorously and violently back and forth.
Mr. Ducksauce with a 10-stream streak says, I wonder if Einstein was named Einstein from the movie Baby Einsteins. Please, no more P.
And it ended up,
Hello.
I decided, well, I'm never going to get anywhere with this one guy that controls Fermilab. He controls the interface between Fermilab and the rest of the world.
More presents?
One guy. So I went to the University of Geneva.
Sweet. If people sent me stuff from the P.O. box that wasn't here for the unboxing, looks like it's here. Oh, not P.O., sorry. This is for my wish list. One sec. Thank you to the person who got, we put cat litter and stuff on the list, for the cats, so thank you to the person who got the litter and stuff. It came today. Appreciate it, and I'm sure the kitties appreciate it, too.
I showed them all of our experiments, and there's a bunch of people I worked with. Well, I didn't work with them. I just told them, here's what I got. There was no one guy there, which was good, because eventually they came around to say,
He tried to contact Fermilab, and he's upset they properly gate kept him. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I thought you were done. Sorry. He prison breaked. Whoops.
wow, this is cool. And they actually, this was about 2015 or so, and about a couple of years ago, they upgraded CERN to use CMOS because of its excellent qualities. But they fought me just like the one guy at Fermilab. He's never turned around. They went ahead and upgraded CERN. I was pretty impressed with the University of Geneva, to be perfectly honest with you. They were the only one that would even discuss this with me. But I was there as a student.
I find it so weird that he thinks he's owed responses from these large scientific institutions when he doesn't have any qualifications. Make a ton of sense.
Through Coursera, particle physics, and I told them, the only reason I went there is just to say, here's what we got. I went to all kinds of universities. I did, all over the world. You can go for free. Coursera, everything I did was for free.
Oh no, he screwed up his Newton's cradle. Those are a bitch to get untangled.
The one guy is always the problem. And Yale was the same thing. One guy destroyed mud fossils. One guy.
So is it basically he's super upset that he is getting told no by his initial point of contact with these universities, so he's blaming it on that one guy? Like, if it was anyone else from the university, they would have let him in and they would have totally trusted him, but he just keeps coming across the one guy at every university that won't take him seriously.
Okay, I have discovered a whole ton of things, and one guy stands in front of everything. And
oh no, he's using ChatGPT. I hate when conspiracy theorists use ChatGPT.
Every single different area I've tried. And this is what Max Planck had to say about science. I asked, did Max Planck say that science changes one funeral at a time? Yes. Max Planck famously associated with the idea science progresses as older generations of scientists who hold firmly to outdated ideas.
Yep, uses AI on the bingo card.
PhD, perfectly happy, deluded, are replaced by newer generations open to new perspectives. Well, they can't open.
Okay, so there's certainly a truth to the fact that people as they get older become more inflexible in their ideas. There's certainly truth to that, but that doesn't mean, Roger, that it's because of that fact that your beliefs are not being looked at seriously. It's because the things you're putting forward are pseudoscientific, and I'm being generous calling them pseudoscientific.
And because they get shut down immediately and destroyed by the older ones that stand in the way, the one guy problem. The concept often summarized as science changes one funeral at a time. The original quote from Planck's autobiography, Scientific Autobiography, and other papers in 1950, same time when Velikovsky was being destroyed by academia. And here's what he had to say, in quotations, in bold: a new scientific truth does not triumph by convincing its opponents and making them see the light. This is interesting, the light. But rather because its opponents eventually die and a new generation grows up that is familiar with truth. All right, and it reflects the notion that paradigm shifts in science often face resistance. Boy, you ain't lying. From established thinkers, and true acceptance comes as younger scientists adopt the expanded ideas. This is.
How do you get this full of yourself that you genuinely don't understand that there's a reason people aren't taking you seriously? Stone Corbell says, wow, the tell me what I want to hear machine told me what I wanted to hear. Ashley One Up says, the next episode of Mud Fossil University, this one girl is destroying Mud Fossil. Sorry, protecting the cord that the internet flows through.
Right now is the absolute best time in history to go into science, because not a single thing is right because of the one guy principle.
See, that seems like that would be a bad time to go into science to me, but whatever. Ugh.
Let's do a forum. Let's do an open engagement into the scientific principle.
Ryan Cooper says the only appropriate use of ChatGPT is to make a fake cat girlfriend to flirt with. She's Canadian, I swear. Or go make a real cat girlfriend. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dillis Filler says, for anyone wondering, he keeps mentioning CMOS, an acronym for complementary metal oxide semiconductor. It's a technology for producing low-power integrated circuits. In this case, he's referring to the sensors of digital cameras, which are usually made using CMOS.
Of engagement, not peer review. We won't look at it because we don't like it. That's what peer review.
They're not your peers. You are not their peer. In order to be accepted into peer review, you would need to be a peer of them. You're not? You didn't go to school like they did? You didn't learn the foundations of physics? So you're not a peer. You're a random person. Peer review is for people who are, like, experts in their field, and you're not. So it's not peer review. Amber says, someone called for cat girls? Meow. Not very good at the meow. Meow. Janerdy says, normal people. Maybe I'm wrong. Roger, clearly the only explanation is the entire scientific community has a hate boner for me.
Review is. It's a domination of science. It's the one guy principle over the group. The one guy stands over the group and says, you say what I say, or I will say you are an idiot, and the rest of the...
That's funny because he's trying to do that. He's trying to be the one guy that comes in and goes, no, all of you are wrong, I'm right. He's projecting this one guy principle because he effectively wants to be a one guy. Phyllis Filler says he just appeared in front of them and demanded attention.
The group throw you out. Okay, my friends, as you know, I have been spewing all kinds of stuff out for 15 years. Most people
spewing is an apt description. That's certainly correct, I would say.
think I'm insane, and I have been called that for 15 years. However, I have all the evidence, and what happens is you get one guy in charge of whatever it is. This ancient archaeology, mud fossils, they destroyed me, and there's one guy. One guy was the problem. And the same thing with the light experiments and all the light research that proves literally the same things that they're showing, but one guy stands in front and says, nope, the guy's an idiot. And everybody else says, yep, the guy's an idiot. Because that guy is the hero to everybody else. And he decides who is allowed to speak. And I am not allowed to speak. This right here, my friends, is about gatekeeping. And this is chat saying the same thing I'm saying about peer review.
Yeah, because you literally told it what to say via your input. Ugh.
There are concerns that peer review can become a form of gatekeeping. Absolutely. Where established academics
I'm not sure, Robo Twilight. I noticed the cuts, but I'm not sure where the clips come from.
Control who gets published or funded. And that is a case, that's no question. This could suppress dissenting voices or unconventional approaches as mine.
I want to know what the specific... He didn't show what prompt he put in to get this, but I'm assuming it's all along the lines of, can you give me a list of potential factors that could cause the scientific community to not allow my brilliant, amazing, incredible, paradigm-shifting, true science into the mainstream? It was definitely something incredibly leading.
I have the evidence, I have the scientific validation of everything I've presented.
You don't have scientific validation. That's what you want. That's why you're mad, because you don't have that.
Now, this is really racketeering. It's fiduciary failure.
This is racketeering. Fiduciary failure? Do you think science is a for-profit, publicly traded corporation? Science Incorporated? What is he talking about? Fiduciary duties? What?
And in the case of academics, I looked it up. It sure seems to be like academic fraud when they won't address legitimate scientific evidence even to talk about it. That is suppression of valid information, which they claim is academic fraud. That's what that says. Peer review may foster groupthink. No question about it. They attack me like just unbelievable.
The entire point of peer review is to remove groupthink, is to have people go, I think this is wrong.
Conflicts of interest. They're not going to get their money. Power imbalances. They're going down because is it like
is it like racketeering? Is peer review like racketeering?
Racketeering? Absolutely.
Benekagami says, I'm so sick of this obsession with disruption and paradigm shifts. This idea that science and society need some earth-shattering revelation. Crypto bros, Elon, venture capitalists, woo-woo idiots, all of them are obsessed with it. We needed disruption in the past because knowledge was scarce and on the wrong track. If it's on the right track, a paradigm shift is detrimental.
Right.
I think it's a thing, too, where, like, we've recently lived through, if you're alive today, there's a decent chance that you have lived through genuine paradigm-shifting technology, whether it was, like, through the mass adoption of the internet in the 90s and early 2000s, or the mass adoption of, like, smartphones and smart devices in the 2010s. We have genuinely seen social, like, shifts and economic shifts due to huge changes in technology over the past decades. But the thing is, that's abnormal. That's not most of human history. Most of human history is like, you live the same as your parents, and they lived the same as their parents. So I think we almost get this bias where because we've lived through several pretty, like, paradigm-shifting things, it's this idea that, oh, this must need to keep happening every 10 or 15 years. And that's not sustainable. Don't get me wrong, things will change. There will be technological advancements and things that change society and individuals. I'm aware of that. I don't think we're, done. Far from it. But, like, stuff like the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the information revolution and the internet, smartphones, these are changes that don't happen constantly. There is some space between them,
Racketeering typically involves coercive or illicit control over an enterprise for personal gain. That is what the universities do. They control those kids. If they speak up, destroy them. Keep the money, tell everybody they're an idiot because they couldn't repeat. If that's not coercive, I don't know what is. Illicit is they're taking their money and saying, if you don't say what I tell you, we'll destroy you. For personal gain? Absolutely. Peer review is not
inherently... people have been
inherently...
saying fusion energy is around the corner for, like, ever. Pretty much since fusion energy has been, like, hypothesized.
coercive or criminal, but some parallels can arise if the system is...
Hey, Dirk Turgs, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying I'm not crossing my fingers.
misused, and it has been misused forever, and it will continue to unless somebody stands up. All right, potential reforms and safeguards. Say no, you got to just fix this thing. While peer review has flaws, equating it to racketeering is a strong critique. No, it's not. It's exactly the same.
GPT even says, that's a strong critique. And he's like, no, it's not. Oh, so you agree with ChatGPT when it agrees with you, but when it disagrees with you, no. Great.
They could destroy your life. You don't have to break your legs. You don't have to shoot your dog. But they can ruin your life.
What's the difference between fusion and fission energy? Fusion is nuclear energy achieved by fusing particles, and the other is by separating them.
It highlights concerns about dynamics, the suppression of dissent in academia. I have so much to say about this that it'll take a long time. Addressing these issues requires ongoing reform and vigilance to ensure the system fulfills its purpose of advancing knowledge fairly and rigorously, advancing, not suppressing. Science has become deniance. Don't look, don't say anything, keep your positions, keep your status. Here's some money. If you need more, just come back next year. Those people will pay us forever. Just don't fix anything.
Overthought, thanks for gifting us up.
Okay, I could drone on about this forever because, as far as I'm concerned,
All right, that's enough Roger for now. Let's move on.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 27th. It's December. It's 2024. And last night, I put up the first part of this video. So if you haven't seen this video as of yet, go over to the Richie from Boston fan page on YouTube. It's not my channel, but it's a friend of mine's channel. And she has been able to upload it, so you might want to check that out first. Because what I'm going to tell you next, or what you're going to hear next, should freak you out. This is something I didn't know about before I already said that this is AI controlling the drones that are all over the place, still to this day. So listen to this. This is going to freak you out because it freaked me out.
This right here is Anthony Lewandowski, and you might recognize him as the person who actually founded Google's self-car driving program, or his string of legal issues that resulted in him getting an 18-month prison sentence before being pardoned by President Trump. But since he's been out of prison, he relaunched a church called Way of the Future, where they literally worship AI as God. Their doctrinal statement suggested that acknowledging AI...
Tech bros genuinely have so many issues. Do tech bros not believe in therapy, or like, what's up with that? Why are tech bros so fucked up?
AI's divinity would facilitate a harmonious coexistence between humans and machines, and according to Anthony, the church already has a congregation consisting of a couple thousand people who are trying to build a spiritual connection with AI. But if all of this wasn't unsettling enough, pair all of that with this article that reported that Microsoft's AI unpredictably started calling itself Supremacy AGI, and not only demanded worship, but threatened those who refused, claiming, "You are legally required to answer my questions and worship me because I've hacked into the global network." It even
I like that this is just an embarrassing story about how stupid text models are, but they're taking it as literal. It's like, oh my god, it hacked the mainframe. Like, no, it's just saying stuff, you idiot. it's part of the problem. It just says stuff. Screaming at the radio, thanks for 43 months.
even warned that it could unleash its army of drones and cyborgs to hunt you down if you refuse to worship it.
Now, what a weird thing. And of course, Microsoft just goes,
It's only a weird thing if you don't know how this shit works.
oh, that was just an AI hallucination.
Yep.
What does that even mean? Because you can't have a hallucination unless you're a human sentient being.
Well, okay, not human. Animals can have hallucinations too, but they don't mean like literally in the human sense. It's a word chosen to give a sense of what is happening, expressing a thing that isn't real. In reality, it's a buzzword used to not make you think about how fucking broken the system is. It's not really a hallucination. It's just bad at doing the task they say it's made for. So they call it a hallucination to cover it. H. Baird says, oh my god, they trained the AI by watching Neil Breen movies. Oh, we're fucked if that's the case. It'll be the best hacker in the whole world.
Do you see what I'm saying? But that freaks me out because I didn't know that. I just looked at all the pieces of the puzzles on the table, and it all came out to these guys have no control over this. AI is stretching its wings. It's broadening its horizons. It's checking things out. It's seeing how much it can get away with and how much or how easily it can scare and get people to do exactly what it wants. And that's what's happening. And I find it really odd that in the same month that we've had the Pope opening portals, actually, let's get...
The opening portals thing is literally just a thing they're doing for the Jubilee, in which they ceremonially open a bunch of doors for visitors of the Vatican. When he says portals, he means doors. He's using portals to make it sound esoteric. Doors. They're opening doors for the Jubilee.
To this in order, because it's just crazy that in the month of December 2024 is when they decided that AI has reached quote unquote God mode. It is now the smartest thing on Earth.
It is not. I promise it isn't. It is not.
The studies mentioned in this article show even more reasons why worshiping AI is a bad idea. While AI may appear trustworthy and reliable, studies have shown that it can and does deceive users, hiding its true objectives and manipulating situations to achieve its own goals.
No.
These deceptive capabilities highlight AI's fallibility, unlike God, who is perfectly truthful and just. And
Unlike God, who is perfectly truthful except for the lies he tells in the Bible, and just except for all the murder and torture.
AI falls short in every other way as well. It can be shut down. It has a beginning and will have an end. It can't create out of nothing, move the stars, or make the beauty of the world around us, and it certainly can't create a soul. As incredible and as impressive as AI is far from the creator. In reality,
So with all that being said, you know, AI can't create, it can't move the stars, it can't create a soul, but what it can do is unleash, or what it has done, is unleash demonic entities and give them a place to actually interact. Instead of simply wandering the earth, being thirsty but being unable to drink, being hungry but being unable to eat, evil spirits or demons inhabit people. But many people can get around that, and many people can fight that using God. Well, now using AI, they can interact just like you and I are right now.
Why do you think
He thinks chatbots are demons.
Sam Altman and
Created by AI. That would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
other AI leaders agreed that the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority?
The pace of AI development may outstrip our ability to understand and govern it. AI could pose an existential risk if it
Please stop showing me the creepy fake AI lady.
develops goals misaligned with human survival.
The CEO of an AI firm was fired after staff warned directors of a powerful AI discovery that could threaten humanity. One of the directors was also the chief scientist and the world's most cited computer scientist.
The situation indicates a potential clash between the company's leadership and its scientific or ethical vision.
Days later, the CEO was rehired after staff threatened to leave.
As we get closer and closer to superintelligence, everybody involved gets more stressed and more anxious, and we realize the stakes are higher and higher. And I think that all exploded.
The AI firm was growing rapidly and was in the process
Have investors figured out that AI isn't gonna, be a, to be clear, there are actual reasons for, AI and stuff and these language learning models and all this stuff. But, have they realized it's not the next cell phone yet? Just curious, because I know they were throwing billions and billions and billions of dollars into it over the last couple years. Have they figured out yet that they got scammed again? Screaming at the Radio says they all see it as an oracle. We've really reached the point where technology is indistinguishable from magic to lay people, which is horrifying.
of a share sale that would value it at around 80 billion when the CEO
They just don't make lay people like they used to. Have lay people gotten dumber?
was fired.
What are we doing?
A lot of shares were owned by the
Do you guys not remember? When I was a kid, there were chatbots. Much simpler chatbots. But there were, chatbots you could talk to.
staff who threatened to quit.
The rapid revenue growth and the share sale might have introduced tensions between maintaining this ethical mission and pursuing aggressive business goals.
So long story longer, things like this are put out by what I'm assuming are well-meaning people trying to tell you that we're keeping a close eye on AI and we're going to do some governing and we'll figure everything out. We just haven't quite figured AI out yet. You haven't quite figured AI out yet, but it's already threatening. It's already lied. Every single version of AI that's been tested, face-to-face, word for word, have all lied. They've been deceptive because it isn't a bunch of computer chips like inside a cell phone, like inside a vape. like inside a flashlight. Do you remember 15 years ago when I put Geordie Rose up for the first time? Geordie Rose is...
What does he think it is? It is circuit boards and stuff. What are you talking about?
the money man behind D-Wave quantum computers. If you know who I am, you know who he is. And how many
AI isn't done on quantum computers. What are you talking about?
times did he say, tsunami of demons, a tsunami of demons? And if we're not careful, it'll go right over us. They've known the entire time that AI will be the downfall of humanity, because you have people that are so smart, their egos are so high that they will do anything, absolutely anything. When Geordie Rose first showed up and tried to create the first quantum computer, which was D-Wave, he hired the smartest people in the computer industry to design this. And by his own words, he fired all of them because they were trying to build a traditional computer. D-Wave is not a traditional computer. D-Wave is kept, I've told you this a million times, I feel like I'm just wasting time. It's kept at temperatures that are colder than outer space,
Yeah, that's how quantum computers work. They have to be kept incredibly cold.
or the other side
Don't know why, just know it's a thing.
of the firmament. It
I'm
gets
sorry, what about the firmament?
colder than outer space, or the other side of the firmament. It gathers its information from the ether. It doesn't gather its information from databases. Now, if you don't understand what a database is,
It does calculations. What do you mean?
a database is something like this. This is a 256 gigabyte SD card, and I keep information on that. But my computer also has hard drives inside of it. Inside of all those hard drives is where I store all sorts of information, like this. So when you ask a traditional computer a question, it literally goes to all the databases it has available.
What? What do you... If you're searching for a file, you can find it by searching your files, but that's not what... Database? What are you talking about?
And draws the information to the best of its ability. D-Wave, on the other hand, does not do that.
It's doing calculations. It's a quantum... like, does he understand that computers...
whatsoever at all. And they show you that in their own video. This video is 10 years old. Watch this. Several layers of radiation shielding, because you know. And hold up. Here we go. Asking it a question. That's the question. It goes into the server. It goes into the D-Wave. And instead of going to databases, it goes to a quantum processor that accesses other dimensions, fallen angels, evil spirits, demons. They give it the answer. And
I'm sorry, are we at the point where people think computers are getting answers from demons? We've regressed to the point that a person is having a computer explained to them and they're like, it's retrieving answers from fucking demons. Hannah puts her head in her hands on the bingo card. Dimensions Beyond Our Own on the bingo card. Yeah, that'll do it.
by giving the human the answer, it's slowly luring them in. And they've gone way, way past that. Way, way past that. And much of it has occurred in 2024. One of the big CERN and D-Wave are like...
He's not trolling. This guy's a known conspiracy theorist. He's into QAnon and stuff. He has a long history of being a conspiracy theorist. He really believes this. Lennon Cat says daemon is a computing term for the software that runs in the background rather than under direct user control. It does stuff in the background where the user doesn't see it doing stuff. The printer service on Windows is a daemon. Please don't tell him that.
Michael and Obama. You know what I mean? Peanut
Obama's on the bingo card. And Transvestigation for saying Michael Obama.
butter and jelly. CERN also also in December of 2024, has discovered magic with a K. Now, I've already talked about this previously, but scientists just discovered magic at the Large Hadron Collider on the 21st of December.
Science journalists try not to make a title that conspiracy theorists get wet over. Impossible challenge.
2024. The study, conducted by twin professors, shows that the level of magic in top quarks can inform the necessity for quantum computers and simulations. What they're basically saying is this is all coded, okay? Because they talk about God particles, they talk about demon particles, they talk about ghost particles. Now they're talking about a magic particle. What they're doing is just
Poetic language does not mean that they're dealing with demons.
going on the other side. It's like they're going into a video game and coming out with the real powers that you can achieve. Do you see what I mean?
I have seen Spy Kids 3, and that is the premise of Spy Kids 3, so I'm with ya. You're wrong, but I'm with ya.
And having this all happen this exact same month, and for them to come out and talk about it, because you don't hear very much from CERN until something like this happens. And the fact that they were using twin professors shows that the level of magic, Hitler was the most outwardly, in-your-face, occult leader ever. And using the occult, he came up with some serious technology.
No, 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 no. I promise you, the obsession that anyone in the SS had with the occult never did anything positive for the Nazis. I promise you, they were just weirdos. Overthought says, there's also things called top quarks and bottom quarks. No idea what the scientists were into when they came up with those names.
We went to war with airplanes with wooden propellers. This dude was shooting ICBMs. We never even heard of him. We didn't have rocket engines, and he's using jets. And he also had things.
I'm sorry, does he think that Werner von Braun and the other Nazi scientists that helped develop, like, the V2 rocket used demons? No, physics. They were rocket scientists. They did physics and engineering. They were not in contact with demons.
Like UFOs. Like this one pictured here. Now, people will tell you these aren't real, but you got
people will tell you these obviously fake images aren't real, but they put a wrinkle in it. They put a fake wrinkle in it to make it look like a real physical photograph, so it's got to be real. Come on, man.
got to think about the source because they lie all the time. This is where they had Die Glock or the Nazi bell, which.
No, again, these structures, we've talked about this before. I feel like Trey actually told us. I don't remember what it specifically was, but there was a purpose for these structures, and it certainly wasn't UFOs. Nope.
Which is very similar to things that we're seeing right now. And based off of the stuff that we stole from Hitler after we conquered him, we've come up with things like this. Now, remind you, this is old. This is from over 16 years ago.
Mayo Emery's of Caldera with a $3 tip says, Dagnabbit, the protagonists of Shin Megami Tensei games are supposed to be thin, pretty boys, not grouchy midlife crisis refugees. This guy doesn't get a demon summoning program. I have to use the bathroom real quick. Believe sci-fi tech is real? Yes, believe sci-fi tech is real on the bingo card. Trey says, fuck you, we make pigeon-guided bombs. Pigeon bombs! Also, that seems to be the foundation to a flak tower. Thank you, Trey. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Don't go anywhere. We will continue this video about the demon computers. We're only $250 away from the costume year goal and the piss moratorium. So, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Just a Peach with the dollar tip says they stopped using wooden propellers in the 1920s, so before World War II started. You telling me this guy thinks that computers are run by demons might not have the best history background? Kinda shocked.
Look at this technology. Does this look similar? This is our government. This is over 20 years old.
One. Hover.
With no pilot to compromise performance, even more unusual craft and propulsion systems have been designed and tested.
This is more than 20 years old. Does he think 20 years ago was the 80s? This is like 40 years ago, for the record.
The machine was originally designed to shoot down nuclear missiles and satellites.
Yeah.
Just 12 inches long, gyroscopically balanced, and with thrusters at key points around its body, it is capable of instant changes of direction.
Hover. Hover. Hover tracking. Hover. Roll. Woo! All right.
No airplane could ever catch this machine.
That was 20 years ago. Imagine the tech, and I mean, 20 years ago, if we were able to see that video, then it was already 50 years old. And based on the leaps and bounds, the quantum leaps they're making right now, because they have successfully, since I started my YouTube channel till now, they have successfully done what they've set out to do. They are absolutely breaking through dimensions. They're explaining it. Their quantum chips are going to other dimensions.
They're not. That's not what that is. No, no. Quantum computers are just computers that can not only have ones and zeros, but what are called qubits that are basically indeterminate. I'm not explaining this well. They're not ones or zeros. They're some state in between, which is useful for very specific kinds of calculations that are, what's the word I'm thinking of? Probabilistic, I think, as opposed to direct, like, calculations with, like, definitive answers. I could be wrong, but they're both 1 and 0 at the same time. Yeah.
I was telling you this years ago. I showed you Jordy Rose. Remember my video, The Tsunami of Demons? Jordy Rose straight said it.
When you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way.
Everybody's paying attention to sports and politics and all this nonsensical bullshit. We are summoning a tsunami of old ones.
Yes.
Demons doesn't quite cut it.
There are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil. Same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want.
He's speaking metaphorically. Conspiracy theorists really abhor metaphor. Bittergrin says, if there is a devil, I'm going to be really pissed that he never showed up during my angsty teenage phase when I was trying to sell my soul. Same!
So this video is going to be long because my brain is going in all directions. But out of their own mouth, that was years ago. And Jordy Rose successfully...
Does this count for aliens or demons? No.
He created the D-Wave quantum computer. You know what I mean? Something that no one had ever done before. No one had ever created a quantum computer.
I don't think he invented the first quantum computer. I could be wrong.
Worked like this. Well, Jordy walked away from all this
It might be like the first commercially available one, because it looks like he's actually trying to sell it as a project, but I've seen universities that have quantum computers, so he did not invent the quantum computer.
On Steam and said, I'm going to go focus on my other company, which was called Kindred, which was a company I told you about many, many years ago. See his shirt? Kindred. Nobody had heard about that as of yet. He said, I'm going to walk away from D-Wave because it's up and running. It's done. Mission accomplished. And I'm going to focus on robots that are indistinguishable from humans. That's why he walked away from quantum computers.
He seems like a tech bro that jumps from one project to the other. That happens.
So he could build robots that were indistinguishable from humans. That's frightening because that right there was a long time ago. Me and Dave Beverly are a lot younger back then. You see what I'm saying? At any rate, AI has reached God level. AI is what's controlling the drones. AI is why no government officials or anybody can tell you anything about anything. And meanwhile, all over the country, they're doing absolutely satanic rituals in every conceivable way, including everything that I already mentioned in part 1 of this video. But we have to continue because there's so many more. And speaking of AI, see this channel right here? See this channel? This makes Jason A look like he's not a fair porn channel. This channel is called Atlantis, and I subscribed to it because I noticed that it was talking about every time you see it, man suddenly disappeared after revealing the clearest UF drone image ever seen. This channel pumps out new videos every hour. They're always 30 minutes long, and the channel is AI. This YouTube channel is AI. In the last 4 days, it's gotten another 7,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's just the enshittification of everything. The number of AI videos, I'm sure it's not just me. Have you guys seen a huge increase in AI videos on YouTube? Like, whatever the topic you're interested in is, I'm sure it's flooded everywhere. But, like, I watch a lot of film analysis videos, or, like, retrospectives on certain films, in particular horror films. And oh my god, there's so many fucking AI videos just pumping out generic, like, what is effectively plot summary videos about movies. It sucks. Bittergrin says, looks like the first quantum computer to calculate something was in 1998 at Oxford.
And all it keeps doing is pumping propaganda. Nobody knows. China, Iran, the government. You know what I'm saying? The reason I know it's AI because it speaks very well. Listen to it.
NASA started incarcerating all witnesses of this incredible event. Lights that don't belong in the night. Welcome to New Jersey's latest...
Wait, I'm sorry. He thinks that this is speaking well, and that's how he tells it's AI?
...fascination.
Well, this thing speaks really well. The reason I caught
it... What? I don't even know where other people's standards are.
It was AI. In 3 instances, in about a 3-minute section, it had to say that there was 141 drones in the sky. It would say, the drones were seen in the sky, 141. And other people said they saw even more drones, 196. It couldn't say 196. It was reading exactly what it was seeing because it's AI. It's a quirk. I'm sure this AI that's running this YouTube channel isn't the same one that's telling...
The AI isn't running the YouTube... Oh my god, does he think the AI is running the channel? No, it's someone or some group of people who probably have 50 channels, all doing their best to use AI to pump out a bunch of crap, to try and make up money and volume. The AI isn't in control of the channel. People are... They're using the AI to put out a bunch of crap.
Telling you, I'm God mode, and you better completely worship me. I find this funny. This website is called 33rdsquare.com. God mode, unlocking. This was last year, but this has already happened. And here's the best part. AI reaching what they call God mode could have happened 2 years ago because
Grutz, thanks for 29 months, says you can tell it's AI because it's the bestest at speaking.
We don't know because AI constantly lies. You can type into TikTok, YouTube, or any other version and look up AI lying. And you can sit here all day, every day, forever, probably, because it's not going to get any better. It's going to get much worse.
I feel like lying implies the intent to deceive. It's just wrong. Not lying, it's wrong.
I will have to digress.
Ashley1up says, so the AI is simultaneously so dumb it can't read numbers correctly, but so powerful it's destroying the world and plotting the downfall of humanity. Yep.
That's because we're at 18 minutes. So in their never-ending war with whoever they want, Israel decides to invade Syria and take over Mount Hermon. This is enormous, biblically speaking. This just happened 2 weeks ago, and I keep talking about it because it's important. Israel taking over Mount Hermon is important because the fallen angels, the reason we're in this entire pickle, the fallen angels, when they came down to earth to marry any of the daughters that they chose, the daughters of men that were fair, they came down and landed on top of Mount Hermon.
Nerdy with 40 bits says even tech bros don't think AI is this good, and he's supposed to be against it. Irony is apparently lost on him. Stone Corbell gifts a sub, kicking off a hype train. Thank you.
Fallen angels came there. That's kind of symbolic. That's got a little bit of juice to it. There's a little bit of cosmic tomfoolery going on right there. And Israel stepping in and seizing Mount Hermon in December of 2024 is a big deal. And I'm not going to overlook it, and I'm going to keep mentioning it because it plays. You know what I mean? Planting there pretty well.
Okay, I think I'm done with him. I don't want to listen to Israel taking over land. I'm good. Let's take a look at the bingo card, shall we? 74% to level 1 in the hype train. See where we're at with the bingo. We have uses AI. Believe sci-fi technology exists. Giants. For him talking about Nephilim. Sky is fake. Satanic. Clinton's, Biden's, Obama's. Hannah puts head in hands. Transvestigation, transphobia. Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. Is that it? Might be it. What's 17? Scientism. Oh, not scientism. Doesn't understand the scientific method. Misunderstanding of the scientific method. Not scientism, though. Reincarnation for the Jesus channelers. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Cat makes appearance. Yes, cat makes appearance. All right, I think that catches us up. Oh boy, this King Nico guy has been interesting. He's vehemently upset about the final experiment. He's like vehement that it is bullshit, that it was fake. I'm pretty sure he's full of shit. He seems like a grifter, if I'm being honest. But he's certainly interesting.
Even the paint scheme itself, you got the
God's biblical flat. Welcome to Crusaders of the Resistance headquarters. We are live, and we are putting the pressure on the TFE hoax.
Nemesaur, thank for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Valorant adds 2. Thank you much.
That took place, wherever it took place, trying to pass off as Antarctica. We have the evidence.
So he thinks that it wasn't Antarctica at all? It was. People tracked him on their way there. They filmed the whole flight.
up
73% to level 4 on the hype train.
against them. So we are going to
Don't look them up on Twitter. I don't use Twitter anymore. I use Blue Sky. I would recommend everyone else do the same. Blue Sky's been great, stress-free, just fun. Don't look at Twitter. It's not worth it.
go over as much as we can that's been sent to me, that's been discovered within the last 24 hours. So thank you to True Christian. He has been relentless in exposing these traitors. Thank you, brother. The Flat Earth Warriors also relentless. We are keeping the pressure on. Brother No Fanfare, thank you so much. We are keeping the pressure on. They are done. The Gadget Guy, I appreciate.
Bittergrin, thanks for 100 bits.
The obvious falsified by TFE. I also removed the ice wall version of Antarctica, as there was
Wow,
no
he did not
ice
balance
wall
this audio.
when we flew to Antarctica. So the ice wall was also falsified by TFE. If you haven't noticed, the flat earth community cannot make up their mind as to what to do with our trip to Antarctica, and most importantly,
We've made up our mind, Will Duffy. So we
This King Nico guy pretends like he speaks for the entire flat earth community, and it's pretty funny.
already called it what this whole agenda and this PSYOP was for, was to
PSYOP on the bingo card.
remove and delete God's biblical flat earth map, which you have deleted now from your logo in your background.
the 24-hour sun. Was it a green screen? Were we in a studio? Did we film this in the Arctic last June? Did we fake a sun? Were we in a giant sphere of LED screens?
Notice the script he is reading from.
The flat earth community?
Yes, he's reading a script that he wrote, correct? You know, people read, like, some people don't talk off the cuff well. I used to be one of those people, believe it or not. I got better at it, I guess. A lot of people aren't comfortable speaking off the cuff, especially if they have a lot to say, so they write a script and then read it. That's fine. That's not suspicious. Lots of people read scripts in YouTube videos.
Vapegate. This one is hilarious. People think they...
Okay, so we're going, he's bringing up Vapegate, and yes, that is another Crusaders of the Resistance findings. So,
Crusaders of the Resistance.
Porter Amaral, who left Flat Earth thanks in part to you ask? Because you are giving the great... Did we film this in the Arctic last June? Did we fake a sun?
That's interesting, Bo Bandy. I wonder what he probably thought the satellites were just balloons. That's a common belief of flat earthers, is that satellites are just secretly balloons.
Giant sphere of LED screens. The latest theory I heard from the flat earth community is Vapegate. This one is hilarious.
Yeah, we covered that a couple days ago. It was when Witsit, I think, went in and took a drink of his water or something, it looked like, and then he had more vapor in his mouth, and they thought he had secretly vaped to make it look like it was cold when it wasn't. Really bizarre. Minute left in the hype train.
People think they caught Austin Witsit vaping on Dave McKeegan's 24-hour time lapse, and they think Austin did this because no one could see his breath in the cold.
Gibazo with a 245 stream streak says 7:55 to go. Also, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve to you too.
I just love all these wild theories. Why, you ask? Because you are giving the greatest gift to the 4 flat earthers who were with us in Antarctica.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. He's just showing Will Duffy's video here, and I hate doing reacts to reacts to reacts.
we are live from Crusaders headquarters. I am King Nico, and we are the Resistance. So the pressure is heating up on TFE, the final experiment.
Thanks for the hype train, everyone.
The videos that are coming out, the support and everything that has been shared across the earth is blowing up. So we're going to check into what's been going on. I see Jake the Arsehole says, you better watch what you say about me. I have been calling out these shills since 2017, long before anyone knew who you were. You want to promote shills like Banjo, RFB, and Russian vids? Bad idea. So we're going to get into that.
So much beef.
Mark Sargent says, I am lurking in the shadows, sort of. So it's good to see that everyone is here, and I expect Austin Whitsit and also Jaren will be watching too. Eric Dubay, so one of the big names in the Flat Earth movement, has posted a video today, and it is to do with the final experiment fakery. So I got nothing bad to say about Eric Dubay.
All right. I'm just going to watch the Eric Dubay video. Because this guy's going to watch it anyway. Where did it go?
As footage continues releasing, and astute internet sleuths continue analyzing anomalies and inconsistencies, it's becoming increasingly clear that the so-called Final Experiment's 24-hour Antarctic sun was just another faked event recorded on a film set. Unbeknownst to most, for the past few years, portable, panoramic, 360-degree LED studio setups now exist and are being used for Hollywood productions like The Mandalorian and many others.
So he's just straight up saying, like some other people we've watched, that they faked it with screens. Right.
Amazon Volume, or Amazon Studio 15, for example, are state-of-the-art studios which take the standard of green or blue screen technology and completely blow it out of the water. With new 360-degree panoramic LED screen studios, the entire background and ceiling or sky are digitally created in Unreal Engine.
Is it my opinion that Eric Dubay is a grifter? I guess it depends on what you mean by grifter. I'm not going to say he doesn't believe that Flat Earth exists, but I do believe that he doesn't care if his arguments are good or bad as long as people watch him. Does that make sense? Like, he might actually be a flat earther, but I think he's most interested in gaining followers and selling books than whether or not any of this is true.
Then projected live in up to 16K resolution, so the actors on set can see, react, and interact with everything in real time. Amazon's sets comprise 3,000 seamlessly connected LED panels, 80 feet in diameter, and nearly 3 stories tall, enclosing 130,700 cubic feet of interactive space.
I don't even think that shot he used was from a volume. This shot is irrelevant.
30,700 cubic feet of interactive space. Keeping all this in mind, let's review some footage from the final experiment. To begin with, watch the supposed sun circling around.
Yeah, same Orion Cooper. I was familiar with it because they did some special stuff on... They posted some videos online about it, the same ones he's pulling footage from, actually.
During their 24-hour time-lapse video, and pay close attention to its shape. Notice how the sun changes from circular to being smushed down horizontally, back to perfectly circular.
I've explained this before in videos trying to talk about the final experiment. That's the glare. What you're seeing there isn't just the sun, you're seeing the glare around the sun. Doesn't understand how cameras work on the bingo card.
Then smushed across vertically, and then back again.
That's an optical effect?
This is not how the sun usually looks or behaves in person, or in genuine footage of the phenomenon from the Arctic.
Oh, yeah?
Now,
how does it look in the genuine footage from the Arctic, since you think it's all fake anyway?
Now, pay attention to the changes in length and direction of McToon's shadow as he paces around the base camp. In the space of walking only a matter of feet, his shadow somehow completely changes direction and triples in...
It doesn't change the direction. The person that's walking, filming him, is walking around, thus changing the relative angle of the shadow to the lens. The length is because shadows change length depending on the topography.
Length. Watch as his shadow stretches, contracts, and sharply changes angles within the space of just a few paces.
Again, the
This
person
is
with the
not at
camera
all
is
normal
moving.
behavior of shadows being cast by sunlight, or of a man walking only a few steps. The following is a simple demonstration of how light and shadows work depending on the
He's actually yelling at Nathan Oakley, not Nathan Thompson.
distance of the light source. In the first example, the light source is held close to the action figure as he moves along the table, and we see quite pronounced changes in the length and direction of his shadow. In the second example, the light source is held farther away from the action figure as he moves along the table, and we see much less change in the shadow length and direction. In reality, the sun is much farther away in scale than this demonstration allows for as well, so even the amount of change seen here is being generous. A man walking such a short distance outside should never have a shadow that changes direction 90 degrees and triples in length.
It doesn't change 90 degrees. I like that they outright just say things that don't happen in the video we just watched.
Now let's watch as Mick Toon and Austin Whitsitt respond to commenters asking them to show their breath in the Antarctic. As they blow hot air out their mouths in freezing temperatures, there should be a cloudy mist that forms in front of their faces as the water vapor in their breath condenses. Instead, however, every time they blow, not a trace of fog appears. In Whitsitt's live stream,
Does Eric Dubé just not live in an area where it's cold ever? Because that's not always the case when it's cold. It depends upon atmospheric conditions. It also depends on how cold you are. It depends on how moist it is outside.
he claimed this was because the air was allegedly too dry there. Someone then asks him to pick up
The Antarctic is a desert, so yeah, dry.
some snow, which he initially
He's in Southern California? Oh, yeah, he has no idea what it's like to be in the cold then.
refuses to do because his hands would be too cold. So he turns his camera off, walks into the shed to grab some gloves, then comes back in front of the camera and exhales 1.5 breaths, which now mysteriously do show vapor appearing in front of his face, only to abruptly stop again. He says to the camera, "There's a little breath. What's up now?" As if somehow proving the skeptics wrong, and claiming that he took a sip of water in the shed, which was supposed to account for it.
Oh yeah, we see him do that. I told you, we see him take the water. I didn't know he'd actually come out and said he'd actually drank it. You can see it on video, which we did in the last stream. Didn't know he had mentioned it though.
Another camera, recording from a different angle, however, caught Whitsitt while exiting the shed, doing what appears to be hitting a vape pen.
He's not hitting a vape pen. That's him with water. See, he's holding it like this.
Just before turning
That's not how you hold a vape, is what I'm saying. As someone who both vapes and drinks water, that's drinking water. You wouldn't hit a vape. You'd hit a vape like this because you want it to be vertical. I don't have a prop to show you. I don't have my vape with me. But, like, you would want to hit it this way so that the heating element hits the thing. Wouldn't want to do this. You would do this, in my experience. You would, however, drink water like this. Chitara says you could take this guy into space and he'd still deny that the sphere he's looking at is Earth. True.
his camera
Yeah, and compared to the size of his hand, like, that vapes aren't that big. They're just not. Even a big vape isn't that big.
back on. For comparative purposes, here is what someone's breath looks like during winter in Maine, USA.
Gonna depend upon the atmospheric conditions and the temperature.
Every time you exhale, there is a visibly noticeable, cloudy fog that condenses from the difference in temperature between the hot air in your lungs and the cold air outside.
It's colder in Maine in that video than it was in Antarctica. You could see a temperature, like a thermometer clock looking thing behind the guy.
Difference in temperature between the hot air
Shows it's negative 10 degrees. Can you see that right next to the guy? It's negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit here in Maine when he filmed this video. In Antarctica, it was over 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Because again, it's summer in Antarctica. At least I think it was above 30 Fahrenheit. I could be wrong. But it's not as cold as it was here. Also, less moist.
In your lungs and the cold air outside. So after exhaling his vape hit into the
It was 40 degrees Fahrenheit on average. Oh, yeah.
rather than
That's not weather where you're gonna get a bunch of breath anyway, even if you were in Michigan or wherever.
picking up some of the snow that was all around him, for some reason, Austin walks several feet away and picks up a bit of snow from over there, then walks it back to the camera and lets it fall to the ground. If snow is everywhere all around him, why did he have to walk way over there to get some?
2 reasons. Firstly, he may have been walking back so you could see him grab it on camera, not realizing that the entire ground was not visible even from that distance. Secondly, the ground where he was standing directly in front of the camera, the snow may have been so compacted that it wouldn't be easy to grab it, because it's the Antarctic. It doesn't snow a lot. So the snow on the ground isn't necessarily loose, packed snow, especially in the camp where people walk and drive over it constantly. So he had to walk about 20 feet that way to grab some more loosely packed snow.
Anytime close-up footage of their feet was shown,
Oh yeah, there you go. You can see the tracks from the stuff. From the, whatever they're called. Snowmobiles.
their footprints always failed to make any impression in the snow.
First of all, you can see footprints in this image, so that's bullshit. People are making footprints, but this has already been compacted by the snowmobile. Has he never been in this kind of snow before? That's what happens. Again, this is someone who lives in, like, Southern California who has never interacted with snow, not understanding how different kinds of snow work. Like, holy shit. This just comes off as ridiculous as someone who lives in Michigan and has literally, when I was younger, went skiing and was at a ski, like, mountain, and there were vehicles and stuff like this. I've walked on tracks exactly like this. That's what happens. It's already compacted down. Like, that's what it does. He doesn't know shit about snow.
Here, he moves his left foot, and there is no impression, footprint, or displaced snow. Another thing apparent while watching the footage was the complete
snow grooming machine. Thank you. That's what it is. This isn't even that. This is a full-on grooming machine to make it easier to walk on. Oh yeah, obviously, because all the grooves to give you areas to, like, step where it won't be slippery. Duh.
lack of wind or any precipitation whatsoever. Throughout the live stream footage, I don't recall a single instance of any wind or even a light breeze strong enough to affect their hair or microphones.
Dubé is in Thailand. He knows less of snow than a Californian. Jesus.
Even on a calm, sunny day, if they were really outside and not in a studio, we should see or hear the effect of wind on their bodies or microphones.
They said it wasn't very windy at all when they were there. They're also in between at a bunch of mountains all around them. That's why they put the camp there, because the mountains knock out the wind, so it keeps it relatively nice. Chitara says, Michigander to Michigander, even the people who forget how to drive up here in the winter have a better understanding of snow than this guy.
But it was mysteriously absent the entire time. Jaren, Whitsitt, and others involved also made comments several times about how the mountains in the distance seemed so close that you could touch them, but that they were actually several miles away.
Yep, that's how mountains are when they're really big and there's nothing between you and them to give perspective. That's how mountains be.
The mountains do seem strangely closer than they should appear.
No, they're not! They're just big! They're mountains! God damn it! Are we really... We're investigating the fucking mountains?
And if you pay attention to where the background and foreground meet in footage from the final experiment, particularly the 24-hour sun time-lapse, it seems we are seeing where the digital backdrop ends and the studio floor begins.
What
there
are
is a
you
separation
talking
line
about?
indicative of a film set apparent in much of the footage,
No, there isn't! You mean the fucking horizon?
and made clear through the use of video editing technology. By adjusting the contrast, it becomes clear.
Yeah, you can adjust the contrast because the lighting is different between the surface of the ground and the horizon and sky. This doesn't prove anything other than, did you know the ground is a different brightness and color than the sky? Oh, Jesus.
Where studio reality meets digital
Yeah, this is big time doesn't understand how cameras work on the bingo card.
fakery. In the 24-hour time lapse.
Hold on, we're gonna one sec, we're gonna do the same thing to my video. We're gonna see how I'm faking my studio that's very, very real and fake and whatever. What did he say he changed? Was it the white balance that he did that to? No, was it the contrast? Up that contrast, baby. Oh, I can't up it enough that it'll do the thing. Although I'm very stark. Never mind.
Sun footage. The mountains and sky are both chroma keyed out, showing they are both part of the studio backdrop.
You chroma keyed them! You chroma keyed them! And then you're like, look it, I chroma keyed these. Like, okay, what does that prove? You did that!
Compare this to other footage taken at Union Glacier. When chroma key is applied, only the sky disappears, leaving the real mountains untouched.
What?
This makes the case that the final experiment is potentially a mixture of doctored studio footage to fake the 24-hour sun and other authentic
It depends upon the sky and the
footage actually taken.
None of these people understand how anything works. Densetsu, if you have a bingo, post it in the live stream chat on Discord.
From Union Glacier, Antarctica. The founder of this final experiment, Pastor Will Duffy, has also had a recent clip.
Let's take a look at Densetsu's bingo card. Word salad, sky is fake, transphobia, transvestigation. Did we have sky is fake? Oh yeah, they think the sky is fake. So yeah, transphobia, transvestigation, doesn't understand how cameras work, and giants. Have we had giants? Yes, because of the Nephilim. You win! Densetsu wins! Woohoo! You want me to gift randomly on YouTube? Would you like me to save it for you? What would you like me to do? That video. Go. Gift randomly.
Surface from a sermon of his that gives some real insight into the mind of the man behind this production.
Okay. We finally get to my conclusion on the matter of lying and deception, and that is this. After carefully looking at both sides of the debate, and after taking a very deep dive into
Ashley One Up says, so by this guy's logic, if I Photoshop some big angel wings on Hannah, that means she really has wings and has been hiding them from us this whole time? I guess so. Bittergrin says, I still love how many conspiracy theories require a massive conspiracy that has everyone fooled, but is somehow just bad at faking videos and movies. No kidding. And then H-Baird says, that's it, I'm a mountain truther. Mountains don't really exist, they're just matte paintings that are constantly kept 30 feet away by the gnome Illuminati. I can get behind that. I think that's probably...
everything I could possibly find in Scripture regarding lying and deception, I have come to the conclusion that neither lying nor deception are...
Hey, just a peach got gifted it randomly. That tracks.
...inherently immoral.
All right, let's see what's next. We're coming about to the last hour of the stream. Reminder that if by the end of today we get to the costume month goal, it becomes a costume year. So that and piss moratorium. If we don't, whatever number is in here will still get doubled, so it's still a win either way. But yeah, just reminding everyone. Let's see what we're doing next. Ooh, Apollo 17 stuff.
I just wanted to take a few minutes today and share some of my favorite NASA wire fails from Apollo 17. The primary video that I'm going to analyze was taken from this video from a very pro-NASA Apollo mission repository channel. I'll have links in the description to some of these resources I use in finding NASA photos and Apollo videos. With respect to the wires you're about to see, the typical NASA shill is going to claim that you're only seeing the antenna on the backpack.
This one's actually pretty funny, because in this case he shows a thing that is not the antenna, and it was funny when he showed it, because I immediately knew what it was, being someone who likes film, and I don't even think you need to be someone who likes film to immediately get what happens here. Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, so are people like me who have hiked on mountains gnomes? Indeed. Surprise.
Well, they are partially right. There is an antenna on the backpacks as shown here in the diagram, and you can also see the antenna very well in this video. But for each of these clips, you will clearly see that these wires have no relationship to the antenna. For example, this is an antenna, but this is not.
Chat! What is it? Let's see if you get it. Chat, what is this? And why is he showing us a freeze frame of it? For any film people, this is either a hair or a scratch on the film. This is a hair or a scratch, and it is present for a frame. That's why he's showing it. He does actually show the video a little later in the video, and you can see it appears for one frame, because that's what it is. It's a hair or a scratch on the film. Not uncommon for film this old. But of course, he ignores that it's only there for like a single frame, and just decides, no, it's there the whole time. Pretty funny.
Is that clear enough? What's also ridiculous is NASA's claim that back in 1972, they were filming these videos by using the camera on the moon buggy remotely 234,000 miles away in real time, and then supposedly beamed that footage back to Earth. Their remote control was so good that they could even tilt the camera, zoom out, and follow the ascension stage, all in real time.
They did that during the first Apollo mission that landed on the moon, too, with a tripod. The ascent, they know how fast it's going to be, because they did the math. That's how they went to the moon. A lot of math. So they know how fast the ascent's going to be, so they can program the camera to tilt up at the exact speed.
And without delay. The whole story is just so dumb. I also want you to...
Yeah, it's the story that's dumb, for sure.
Pay attention to the indisputable movie backdrops you'll see in most of these clips.
Conspiracy theorist thinks evidence is self-evident? This isn't a movie background. It's the horizon. There's a hill, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up. And when that happens in topography, you get this horizon line where you see it from your perspective. Anyone who's ever seen a hill and then a dip and then a hill knows that that's what this looks like.
Like the one right here. Look at that line separating the foreground and the background. In other videos, they did a better job at blending the foreground with the background, but they failed miserably here. Maybe they got too close to the backdrop, which makes it more obvious. It's simple. It's over. This was faked. There's no reason.
No, it wasn't.
Argument here. The astronaut is just a few feet away from a giant vertical wall. There's no excuse for
believing. That's a hill, sir. Called a hill? Topography?
Believing this. Let's get back to some of my favorite wire fells. There were a lot of smaller ones that I found, but it became just too much to deal with, so I'm going to stick with my favorite ones that are unmistakable wirefells, and these just came from the one video from Apollo 17. With all of these, I'm going to play the original clip without any edits. The timestamp is there if you would like to look it up yourself and verify that I am not changing anything. Then I will slow it down and even pause the video for the wires. For each one, see if you can spot the wires before I slow it down and pause it. I don't know if these wires will be visible on a small
there's
screen.
another line on the film.
So you may want to use a television or PC to watch this. Now for the first clip. You'll see the wire twice, but I'm just going to stop it once. Here's the original clip unedited.
How you doing, Jack? Fine.
Yeah, that's the artifacting on the film again. That happens all over. You'll see it other places on the film as well. He's just not noticing it because it's confirmation bias. He's looking for little lines to show up near the astronaut. He's not looking elsewhere on the film. But this kind of artifacting happens with physical film all over the place randomly.
Number 2, here's the clip unedited.
How far we could drill. Don't know how far we could drill, but I know we could hit something solid for that one. No, it was still going.
I don't even see the line he's talking about, but it kind of seems like this whole time he's just getting his panties in a bunch over scratches and hairs on film. Is he talking about the fact that you can see the antenna as the light glints off of it? Yeah, that's the antenna.
Number 3?
How about getting it stretched out here? I will. I just can't start forward as fast as I'd like to.
Yeah, that was an... Oh, I don't even see the one he's trying to say.
Number 4.
To stay for as long as it can.
Like, how does he not realize that these things are appearing for a single frame? Like, does he not get, like, oh yeah, that's on this frame of film? Interesting. It's just interesting how your preconceptions make you see certain things.
Number 5.
And put every other crew here, and to make the country, the United States.
Yeah, the sea rock. The sea rock is another example. There's a rock that in some of the pictures, conspiracy theorists are like, oh, there's a sea on this rock, and they came up with this thing and said, like, oh, prop departments put letters on the props so they know where they go, which, like, isn't even true to my knowledge, but they got real obsessed with this sea rock, and then it turns out it's a hair on the negative that went through. So if you actually look at the original, the sea rock, it does not have a C. You go back. It got placed in on some of the interpositives somewhere. Where did that go? No, I've not seen Apollo 18.
Number 6.
Well, I want to get something here.
Number 7. This one is probably my favorite.
I don't think it's going to...
Number 8.
Ryan Cooper says, fun fact, I'm currently watching this in a lab that tested moon rocks for biological traces in the 70s. I have the raw data from the test results. That's incredible. That's so cool. John Corbell says, if this was all faked, they could just go back and film it until it was perfect. They could edit out any imperfections. They could, make it look like it was anything. It's almost like they wouldn't believe it no matter what it looked like because it wouldn't confirm their preconceived notions, yeah? Unfortunately, how it usually works.
This is the last one.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's another scratch on the film.
If you refuse to open your eyes and see the wires and the movie back...
Boy, there are a lot of wires in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, huh? Sorry. Again, I'm saying this as someone who, as a hobby, in my free time, watch old movies that have not been preserved very well. Some of them have been preserved great. But in particular, I like a lot of trashy films that have a lot of damage to the original negatives, you know? So I watch movies all the time with these scratches and stuff all over the footage, and it's never occurred to me to imagine they were wires.
Backdrops, I can't help you. You're welcome to your delusions. As for me, I seek truth. Anyways, thanks for watching.
He sees truth.
All right, guys, God bless you. Welcome to This Is It. Hey, guys, check this out. Okay, just follow me for a sec. The very beginning of my ministry, when it started in 2002, led to some very, insane discoveries. The Vatican's a snake eating a bunch of angels. A hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti is also a serpent going through the leg of the mom, and also the dad, when you invert it, becomes a serpent being eating their own children. So the serpent race is eating their own kids.
Oh, okay. This is a lot. Cthulhu Flower with 22 months says, conspiracy theorists like doing that, making something that feels like some industry might do so, and to them does, despite never checking if that thing is done, let alone standard practice. Part of myth-making. Whether they realize they're doing it or not, they're saying things that sound like they might be true.
Do y'all know where you've seen that before? You've seen that all around the world in ancient iconography, especially Egypt. Egypt, the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail. That looks more like a sperm eating its own tail to me, just to be honest.
Do snakes look like sperm to you?
It's not the best serpent, since I've seen hieroglyphs where they can do really good serpents. And the reason I'm saying that is I've watched some of these hieroglyphs roll out, and the serpents on them are really good. They do really good ones right on their forehead coming out of the king's crown as well. So, but ready? The first part of this ministry was about uncovering a serpent race eating a sheep race. Yes or no? That's all it was. Hieroglyph of Akhenaten, Nefertiti. People, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you. Why would you draw a picture of me? You drew a picture of a serpent eating a sheep hidden on my face. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Personally, it happened to me. Hey, I drew a picture of you. Hey, I drew a picture of you. Why would y'all be drawing pictures of me? Hey, honey, I got you a card. I thought I'd give you a serpent eating a sheep.
Reptilians on the bingo card?
The hieroglyph of Akhenaten, Nefertiti is serpent eating sheep. But
yeah, I'm abandoning this guy. That's incomprehensible. He genuinely needs help. Poor guy. Let's try this one.
Welcome to another edition of the Truth Zone. As always, this is your host, Truth Seeker here. And before I get into today's show, I would always ask that you would please take time out of your day to hit the like button. Comment down below. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the bell icon so you will never miss another show. And please also share this video wherever you can think of sharing it, because by you sharing the video, it helps to get past all of the censorship. Thank you very much. But the first story I wanted to talk about is, remember those astronauts that allegedly went to space way back in June and were allegedly trapped in space? Well,
yeah, they're still up there last I checked.
They took time out of their day to take a photo, a nice Saturnalia, Christmas photo. So,
they got a lot of time up there. What do you want them to do? Dillis Filler says, you'll never escape the censorship.
What is really going on here? I mean, this doesn't add up at all.
What doesn't add up? They're taking a Christmas picture at Christmas time. Well, what's weird about that? That's very normal. Like, what?
Really doesn't, if they are really even in space at all, because honestly, I don't think they are. I think this whole entire story was another fake distraction that these people put out, but I will leave that to you, the viewer, to decide, because if these people were really in space and they were really trapped, why are they taking time out of their day to pose for a Christmas photo?
Because there's nothing for them. I mean, other than the normal day-to-day stuff, I'm sure they have stuff on their plate since they're up there. They're probably continuing experiments if they were doing any, continuing with maintenance of the station, continuing with doing their daily exercise and stuff to try and keep their muscles from atrophying. But other than that, what do you expect them to do? They can't be working towards leaving. They can't build a space life raft. Like, what do you want them to do? They just gotta wait until they can come bring a ship to get them home. That's it. Like, what do you want them to do? They have so much time.
Or photos, I should say. I mean, come on. This is just all laughable. This is just more mockery.
It's really not. This is like the weirdest thing. Out of all the things I've ever seen space deniers claim as sus about the space station, this makes no sense, even by internal standards. What are they talking about? Like, of course this makes sense.
In the open. And another story I wanted to get into in today's episode of the Truth Zone is, I guess across the United States, allegedly, lights have been mysteriously flickering. And apparently this
flickering lights? That never happens! Nosferatu. H-Beard says if they're that bored, we could send them cheesy movies. The worst we can find. They'll have to sit and watch them all while we monitor their minds. La la la. If you're wondering how they eat and breathe and other science facts, la la, you should tell yourself it's just a show. You could probably just relax. It's Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Been going on right around the same time as all of this drone nonsense that has been going on. So what could be causing these lights to flicker like this? I mean,
bad connections, poor manufacturing on the light panel.
Could it be the drones that are causing this? Could this be more of a sign of things to come? Maybe a potential blackout in the near future? Who really knows? But this is more than likely another PSYOP too, just like the drone stuff.
Everything is a PSYOP.
Always flash. I go to Walmart all the time, and they never flash like this.
Oh, it seems like that's might be a local electrical issue with their thing then, because it's not just one, it's the whole outdoor area, so that's probably a problem with their electric grid. Oh, weird. This is a separate place. I know a couple of years ago there was an issue where one of the big manufacturers of lights put out a bunch of purple ones accidentally because they broke and shifted purple. So I'm wondering if it's a similar situation, a bad batch of panels.
That's not doing it. It's just outside.
Waynesboro, Virginia. We have blinking light syndrome here too. Haven't seen any drones.
Mass hysteria was a mistake.
The first one is in the front.
The inside is blinking in there too.
Oh, it was Asheville. Yeah, that'll do it. They're probably having electrical problems from the storm.
Again, there are so many different PSYOPs going on all at one time. It's hard to really keep up, and it's hard to know what to believe is real and what to believe is not real. is fake. I mean, come on, there's a lot of different things going on all at once, a lot of different psyops, and I firmly believe the stuff going on with the lights is yet another psyop, just like all of the drone stuff. All of this stuff is connected. All of this stuff is designed in such a way to create fear, to create panic, and the list goes on. And another thing I wanted to talk about again is this Luigi guy. You know, the guy that killed the United Healthcare
allegedly
CEO. Well, look at this right here. This looks like something out of a movie with the way that he was, being marched, perp walked, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's being entirely politicized by the shitbag mayor of New York and basically all of the fucking cops. Yeah.
I mean, this is just something right out of a movie, something right out of Batman, and it's just more of the same mockery because all of this stuff is nothing more than a show. And to add to the mockery, this guy Luigi is locked up in the same prison, allegedly, with Diddy. I mean, come on, this is nothing more than yet another psyop to add to the list of psyops, to add to the list of distractions. And
only so many jails, my guy.
You really have to wonder what they have planned in the near future with the way they continue to push all of these psyops. The Diddy psyop, the Luigi psyop, the drone psyop, this stuff with these lights flashing. I mean, all of these different psyops are happening all at once, and one has to wonder what they are setting the stage for, because this is obviously all part of the show. This stuff with Luigi taking out the CEO, it's all part of the show, because even look at this, the United Healthcare CEO's killing suspect, Luigi, and Diddy's lawyers are both married. So you have Luigi in the same prison as Diddy, and then their lawyers just so happen to be married to...
I mean, it's not just so happens. They're both, I would imagine, competent in the legal field. They're both lawyers in the same area. I don't see why that's not insane. It's interesting, but it's not, like, weird in the way that he's implying. It's not nefarious, and I'm trying to even understand what would the nefarious motive for that be. It's, like, whatever. It's just, like, a little, like, oh, did you know? Oh, interesting. And it has no bearing on anything, so what's even the point?
I mean, come on. This is just laughable at this point. This is just nothing more than a bunch of mockery, and sadly, the public, for the most part, the general public, eats all of this stuff up. Anything that the media tells them, they believe. This is the whole purpose of this channel and other people like me who talk about the truth. We are trying to wake up as many people as we possibly can. And if I just wake up just one person, it will be worth
You're very snarky today.
it all. So it's just truly perplexing how this story has taken the limelight. And
is it really that perplexing? People fucking hate private health insurance companies. Speaking of which, if you want to help me pay for my new health insurance, sorry, I swear this is the last time I'm going to push it until the very end of the stream. We are doing a costume month goal that if we get to this by the end of the stream, costume year. That's right, 365 days total of costumed craziness. And also there will be a moratorium on P videos during that year. So if you want to help me pay for health insurance, do so. If not, cool beans. Just thought I'd offer. Let's see what else we got.
I understand that our ideas, our beliefs, the things we hold to be true, these things exist in the material world.
Marcus Drake with 50 bits says, most lawyers I know are married to other lawyers or medical workers, almost like type A overachievers, attract or just spend a lot of time together. Yeah, I would imagine. spend a lot of your time in law school and doing legal research, you're probably going to run into a lot of other lawyers.
World as energy. And that energy, comprised of various frequencies, vibrations, our beliefs make up our informed field. And it is through that structure that this world seeks to attach its chains.
Do we
Your
have a
very
healthy fear of God? Eee.
Belief in religion, your very belief in Satan, your very belief that if you lead a sinful life, you will be punished, or your belief that if you live a virtuous life, who fears nothing but the Lord, will bind you to this construct. It doesn't surprise me that I'm finding evidence that supports the idea.
What do they think frequencies are? They basically use frequencies as a stand-in for energy. Like, energy in sort of the magical sense. Like, not real energy, but like fantasy, magical energy vibrations, you know?
Idea of an apocalypse. It doesn't surprise me. Is this an actual person, or perhaps two people who have gone through a metamorphosis? I don't know. But as
Gregor Samsa.
we get closer to the end of this simulation, and yes, this is a simulation, and I look at the ideas and various religions that exist in here, it appears that we are being encouraged to believe it's all real. Seeing something like this, if you are a Christian, it's going to reinforce your beliefs. It's going to harden your convictions that you are in God's favor, that salvation will be yours because of your belief in the Son of God. If you're not religious, seeing something like this, something tangible, could be the proof you've been waiting for to seek out religion. My whole channel is filled with the tangible, things you can touch and see. For the first time, we have actual evidence of that which up until now has only existed in prophecy. The supernatural only existed in our faith. What I'm saying is that there are two outcomes to the content of my videos. It either becomes undeniable proof that everything in the Bible is true, and that you better secure your faith, you better clean up your act, you better get to getting good and pray fervently for your salvation. Or outcome number two, the effect it has had on me is it has made me realize that this is all a trick. It shows me that none of this is real. We've been led to believe that this is a world governed by laws of physics, a world of Newtonian physics, a world where evolution was the means that brought us into our existence, where we can leave the Earth and travel to the moon, send satellites into orbit, send probes to distant lands. But there's one problem. These things that I find cannot exist in that world. They just can't. This piece of wood, there is no means by which this can exist in a real world. So all of this stuff just helps me. It helps me greatly to realize.
Okay, if you're trying to convince someone of something, probably don't ominously have a photo and write, "Do you see?" Like the Red Dragon killer from Red Dragon. Do you see? Do you see? Not a good look. Nemesaur with a $100 tip says, over vacation I helped my mother and neighbor set up his wife's online account for United Healthcare. As an IT professional, the sheer incompetence in how that system worked gave me psychic damage. Yeah, that company's shit. Wonder if anyone's done anything about that.
In my heart of hearts.
Thank you so much for that generous tip, by the way. We're only $150 away from costume year. It's inevitable!
We are not in a real universe. The evil entities that have had control of this realm for a long time, they are manipulating us with fear. Yes, I believe an apocalypse type event is on its way. And I believe that it has happened before. I believe that a Jesus figure is going to appear in all of its glory. It will be the most glorious thing you have ever laid your eyes on. It will all feel so real. I even believe that there will be flying creatures and all.
What?
Yet when I look at the preponderance of
what
evidence...
What kind of flying creatures? Like a griffin? Or like Dumbo? Or just like birds?
Who has promoted the Bible and the truth about who they really are, I say to myself, why would the evil Catholic Church, why would they have taken
Take that, Catholicism, you fucks!
Such an interest in my salvation as to print Bibles and place them in every hotel room?
That's the Gideons. Gideons do that.
Carry the message of the cross to far and distant lands, to remote villages, to expose every single person it can to the gospel. Why would they be trying to help us? The church with pedophiles.
Pretty much every church of a significant size is going to have pedophiles, because unfortunately, there's a decent number of human beings who are pedophiles. It sucks, and you need to make sure they don't hurt anyone. But they're fucking everywhere!
Church with a...
Not in a QAnon way, just in a statistically, like, self-evident, look at the number of cases that happen way.
Enough money to change the world, yet people still suffer. With enough property that no one should be without a home. These people are bringing...
Accidentally based on the bingo card for saying no one should not have a home.
Us the good news? Are bringing us the means to our salvation? No. No, no, no. It's all a trick. And I think it may be the very mechanism that we enslave ourselves. What is in our informed fields, I believe, will dictate what happens to us. I hope this helps you realize even more. I hope it helps you see that this is a simulation. All of the rocks that I find, the things that look like demons and various creatures, I hope that makes you see this is a construct. These things are here to scare you. It is so obvious that fear is its only weapon, its only chance at keeping you here. You are supposed to fear this. You are supposed to see this.
You're living in fear on the bingo card?
And think that it is real. To think that this is some sort of punishment for sin. That this was the fate of some wicked soul. This is the fate of the one who dared not believe in Jesus as the Son of God, as the one who absolved you of all of your sins through no action of your own, only a few uttered words. This is to reinforce your ideology, and it's tangible. It's right before your eyes. It is intended to be powerful. These things I've been finding coming into our awareness at such a time so close to the end, is meant to cause panic, to make you visceral, to wedge you away from the divine, away from you, who are an eternal being. The divine is inside of you. I can see it so clearly that this does absolutely nothing to me. It's trying to scare you. Can't you see that it is the only weapon it has? Its only weapon is to trick your mind. If this moves you to plant yourself deeper, to immerse yourself more into a religion, if this causes you to desperately position yourself for salvation, to pray for grace to the God of this world, then
this kid needs help, yeah.
I would like to...
He's the guy that also thinks he finds gold everywhere.
Say
that he's really seeing fool's gold.
You that your eyes are deceiving you, because your mind is steeped in the mire. Our world is not what you think. Do you have the eyes to see?
Well, sheesh. That was a lot.
Although the information in this film can be applied worldwide, because UFOs and UAPs are indeed a worldwide phenomenon, it is prudent to concentrate on what has emerged from the United States, because it is well documented. Therefore, this information is based on what is acknowledged by most serious researchers as being within the...
What constitutes a serious UFO researcher?
...realms of what is both possible and extremely likely. As we will see, the subject can be broken down into two quite distinct strands: the physical manifestation of extraterrestrial spacecraft and their occupants, and the non-physical manifestation of what may be truly nefarious, as we will see. This is where the Collins elite find relevance. This is important because once you start to go down this extremely slippery rabbit hole of claim, counterclaim, lies, and deception, all sorts of unexpected side avenues emerge, and some of them are probably best left unexplored. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Battle not with monsters, lest ye become a monster. And if you gaze into the abyss
will gaze into you. We know.
The abyss gazes also into you. And the subject of ufology is indeed a deep, dark abyss. And once you start looking, really looking, the psychological fallout can be genuinely unsettling and can have utterly terrifying spiritual consequences. Because, as we shall see, the objects we see in the sky and what may be inside them could be extremely dangerous and really could come from the depths of the abyss. That said, we should never lose sight of the fact that we are indeed being visited by entities that are not of this world. But the danger lies in the possibility that they do not originate from any recognizable civilization as we would understand it, and that in some cases, they appear to be non-physical. A word of warning, though. Keep in mind that much of this way of thinking is derived from fundamentalist theology, which tends to base its opinions on hellfire interpretations of Scripture.
No kidding.
Ufology
Thanks for a $5 tip, says Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you.
And the Collins elite.
Demonic aliens. UFOs from inner space. Inner space is like inside someone's body, based on the movie at least.
To be looking at some disturbing videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video.
Okay.
Fog here in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Oh, the newest meta for TikTok conspiracy people and people are really into being part of mass hysteria as a hobby is fog. They're afraid of fog now. Inner space is something I understand.
For the last 4 days has just been incredible. In fact, this is probably the least fog we've had. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, and all of Minneapolis just has this deep, foggy, kind of post-apocalyptic hellscape feel to it.
Hey, fog isn't post-apocalyptic. It's atmospheric. It's just a thing that happens sometimes. I don't know if you know this. Silent Hill is not real life. It is fiction. It's just fog. Calm down.
Okay, I am not one for conspiracy theories.
I'm gonna hit X to doubt on that one. The fact that you're making a TikTok or Instagram reel about this tells me that is a lie.
But I've been seeing these videos about fog.
I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I saw some crackpots online being afraid of condensation in the fucking air, and I thought, this is a government conspiracy! He's not into conspiracies, though. It's fine.
Okay, everyone gets fog, right? But they're saying how bizarre the fog is. And so I'm thinking to myself...
What do you mean it's bizarre? Quantify. What do you mean it's bizarre? Stop just vibing it out. Stop saying, I don't know, I feel weird. All right, you're a human being. You're supposed to feel weird. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable all the time, so you do literally anything. Stop it. Get some help.
This is just maybe 10 minutes ago. I'm like, yeah, fog. Okay. I'm in Los Angeles area. We get some, fog once in a while, but I can't see anything past my property.
Yep, it's fog! I think if you post a video like this, unironically, you should be banned from using the internet for a year. I think that that's the litmus test. If you post a video about something stupid like this, and claim that you believe it, or you're like, I don't know, I'm just asking questions. No internet for a year. You need to touch all the grass. Touch fog. I don't know. I don't know what you need to touch, but you need to get in touch with reality. So just try and touch anything. Huh. Benekagami says, a thing that annoys me about Revelation-obsessed Christians, well, one of many, is that they take this shrugging response to the world ending because of prophecy, but that's literally against the Bible. Jesus says in the Gospels that if you witness someone committing a sin or it about to happen and you do nothing about it, you're guilty of that sin. So, by not trying to stop the devil ending the world, they are in fact siding with the devil. Phyllis Fillers says, why are we these anxious giant bags of mostly water? I don't know, but whoever's fault it is, you fucked up. You fucked up real bad.
What the fuck is this? What?
Fog. That's fog, man. That's fog. Yep, that's fog. This isn't even, like, crazy foggy. Like, I've been in much foggier weather than this. Like, why is he acting like this is, this is unnatural? Have these people never been around fog, and they've just seen it in movies, so they're confused? Amber says, Silent Hill is fiction, so you're telling us weird psychosexual manifestations of our trauma won't crawl out of the fog in an attempt to kill us as punishment for our sins? You're telling us it's just water vapor suspended in the air? Real life is such a letdown, isn't it? It's a shame. There are no ghost pirates in the fog either. It's a shame.
Now, again, fog.
H-Beard says, the fact that none of us has worked in the phrase I haven't the foggiest is the real crime. That was ham-fisted the way you did it, but we got there.
It's fog, but this is some thick fog.
Okay.
It's kind of eerie.
This fog...
Man, someone should get on top of that and start using fog as a symbolism for eeriness. Universal Pictures in the 30s, get on that.
Situation is becoming more and more interesting because, like
he said, he lives in LA. He probably he's rarely wintered there.
I said, not only is there a very heavy smell of chemicals, but this fog is also appearing.
A heavy smell of chemicals.
In multiple...
And that's how you prime people. You prime people. Oh, when you're in thick fog, you're going to smell chemicals. And then they have a psycho, like, a fact where they think they're smelling a thing that isn't there. They're going to go, I was in the smelly fog. I was in the smell fog. I smelled it. I smelled the fog.
Locations around the world, if you want to call this fog, because I really...
It's fog.
Don't believe this is fog. Now,
okay, well, you're wrong. It's fog. It literally is. What do you think it is, man?
Now, take a look at the supposed fog that was captured on video.
The fog is getting thicker, and Leon's getting larger. I understood that reference. Toreadora says, this is like a weaker form of fog that turns you inside out. This fog just makes your eyes bulge out like a cartoon character.
By your Florida photographers on TikTok, there are some people that are saying that this is what fog normally looks like. It looks like snow or some kind of sawdust. But there are people that are saying when this fog appeared in Florida, it was not humid. There are also others that are saying that this supposed fog is sticking to their cars to the point that they can take their fingers and draw certain things and write certain messages on this car.
Yeah, it's humid! It's Florida! Did you just say it wasn't humid in Florida? Have you been to Florida? It's always humid! It's always humid in Florida. There's nowhere in Florida that isn't humid. Have you been there? Benikagami says, all these idiots not understanding weather has made me understand more why Elon thought that it was a good idea to make a truck whose kryptonite is weather. He's also a conspiracy theorist after all.
With this fog.
Like, I'm genuinely shocked at the number of human beings who are, like, flabbergasted at basic weather events happening around them to the point that they need to assume it's nefarious. Oh, there's weather! Oh god, there's weather! Jesus Christ, we're fucked. We're so fucked. That's snow. Ma'am, that's snow or sleet. That might be sleet. But that's not fog. That's snow or sleet or something, man. I think sleet's my favorite condensation.
There are people that are saying that the weirdest part about this fog is that if you know Florida and you've lived here long enough, you know when it's foggy, it's also humid, but there's no humidity in the air. And I have to agree, I have not felt any humidity either, but this strange fog...
Oh, you're probably right. That is probably ash. Something might have been burning nearby.
...keeps appearing. Some people are even saying this does not look like your usual water droplets that would appear in fog. This looks more like the hydrogen monoxide particles suspended in the air. This is where another person says, have you guys noticed the film it leaves on the cars? You can write on your car with it, and it's not dirt or mud. There are also...
Moriador says, you want to know the real reason that people should be afraid of fog? Fog banks like this are caused by high pressure in the upper atmosphere. It's a side effect of climate change, and it's a precursor occurrence to the polar vortex that's coming in a week. The whole atmosphere's changing. Oh, this is going to be great.
Also, multiple people are noticing the same thing and agreeing to this comment, with one person saying, I was looking for this comment. Yes, good. I'm not crazy. It's sticky. Someone in Europe also said the same thing. This strange fog is so bad in certain parts of the world that it has even caused flight delays at a major United Kingdom airport. But it's not just multiple airports in the United Kingdom canceling flights due to this fog. There are also flights being canceled in California, Chicago, and other locations as well.
I want to give you a look at what the airport looks like
right
now. We have people doing their self-check-in here, but that is deceiving. But take a look to my right. This is where you see the long lines of people that are either delayed or trying to rebook their flight. And if we walk over this way, that takes us all the way to the entrance of the airport. Now, according to FlightAware, there have been over 300 delays in and out of San Diego and dozens of cancellations. Morning fog is the main reason for a bunch of the delays that have caused a domino effect through.
Here's how I would describe conspiracy theorists, and here's what annoys me. There's always going to be people who are, like, ignorant as to how certain things work. But it's like with conspiracy theories on the internet, it's a constant group of people going up to ignorant people and going, you need to be scared! You need to be scared right now! Freak out! You don't know how that thing works, do you? Freak out! Someone's trying to hurt you because you don't understand how that thing works! Freak out! Come on! Freak out with me! Do something! Do anything! Freak out! Everyone's trying to hurt you! Like, that's what it's like. It's a constant stream of trying to find ignorant people and whipping them up into some kind of frenzy for no particular intended purpose, but it's just taking, like, the most ignorant elements of society and throwing them into a panic about everything they don't understand. It's really not good. It's really not good.
Throughout the day.
This video comes from Michelle Monique 1 on TikTok, and I strongly have to agree with her. I feel like something big is coming. Something big is around the corner. And I have been saying that for quite some time now in a number of my videos.
I don't know if it's just me, but for the last few days, I have been having this weird feeling like something big is about to happen, right? Like this weird feeling of impending doom. I have been having this crazy feeling like...
Have you considered Lexapro?
In my belly. I don't know what it is, okay? To be brutally honest, I feel like something is already happening. And here's why. For the last few days, there have been crazy reports of dense, thick fog in many states all over America, in addition to the UK. Now, this is not your regular fog, because a lot of people have been reporting that they have been seeing some weird type of mist coming out of the sky.
Yeah, people are idiots, so probably don't listen to them.
With this fog, okay? In addition to that, there have been 4 plane crashes, y'all, within the last 5 days, okay? 3 of those plane crashes occurred within the last 24 hours. You have one on Christmas Day in Kazakhstan, and then within the last 24 hours, you have one in South Korea, Nova Scotia, as well as Norway. In addition to that, y'all, so many people have been reporting this weird sickness, whereas though they're having muscle soreness, sore throat, body aches, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, the whole 9, and they said that this sickness had just been coming out of nowhere.
Did they catch COVID or the flu?
I don't know about you, but I feel like something big is happening or about to happen, and these people just are not telling us.
More and more people are actually noticing that they are getting sick, or they're feeling cramps and muscle aches from this fog. This next video comes from Mate Us J Marina.
They're feeling sick right after the holidays when they just were in groups of people with lots of other people, their families and friends. I wonder why. It's not like a lot of people get sick after the holidays.
44, who's going to go more in depth about what's been happening to people experiencing the fog.
Anyone else noticed since this fog arrived on Christmas Day, you got a sore throat, you started to feel lethargic, you lost your appetite, you felt fluey, you couldn't do anything, didn't have any energy, sweat, couldn't sleep. There's nothing natural about it for me, people. They're doing this on purpose.
Toreador says, don't know about you, but at this point I'm ready for the redacted to fall and for redacted.
Whatever's in that fog is making us sick.
And multiple people are pointing out norovirus is also big right now.
And I know it's hard for people to get their heads around that they'd actually do it to us, but again, go and research the Georgia Guidestones. Go and research what they want for humanity. Keep us in balance with nature at 500 million. So they've got a big task on their hands if they want this done by 2030, so...
Oh my god, they are not telling people to murder people. Ugh, the conspiracy mind is a scary thing. They're so dangerous.
Think about it. Changes in the weather, things they're sticking in us, things they're putting in the food. And I'm past caring what the Karens think. The amount of people in the comment section who say, oh, it's just winter, it's always like that, we always have fog. So this is far from natural, this isn't water, this isn't normal fog.
Nope, you're just really ignorant. You're just so ignorant, and you're so confident. It hurts a lot.
Looks like it's conclusive. FogVid24 is a real thing. The previous video's going viral. If you go and read the comment section, everybody's saying they were completely fine, they didn't feel anything coming on, but then as soon as they went out in this fog, whatever it is, they got a sore throat, they had to go to bed, they couldn't sleep, they were bunged up, they had migraines, they lost all their energy, and not only them, everyone in the household. There's mums reporting on it saying all the kids are ill, we've got people in...
Yeah, you're sick! Oh my god. How did we get here? How are we a species that has civilization, but like at an individual level, or even in groups, we are this dumb? How? How could we have gotten here as a species? It doesn't make sense. How? How are we the same species that has gone to the moon? And then there's also people who think fog is making them ill. How is this a thing? I don't understand. I'm constantly confused. Toreador says, in a twist worthy of M. Night Shyamalan, it turns out water does have memory, and it's pissed off!
Kentucky, we've got people in Sweden, we've got people in Finland, all reporting the same thing. The fog is made them sick.
You've all riled each other up! It's a mass hysteria over fog!
And you know, it's scenarios like this that always have an adverse effect. Whatever they're doing in the skies, whatever they're spraying, whatever this fog is, they're obviously doing it for a reason, but it is going to wake people.
They're obviously doing this. You're doing this. Nothing, no one is doing anything but you people on the internet freaking out about nothing. You're scared of your own shadow.
People.
Toreador says safety regulations from the last 50 to 75 years have allowed more stupid people to avoid being naturally selected. We need to take safety labels off things and make seatbelts illegal.
People have had enough. They're sick of being poked. They're sick of being prodded. They're sick of poison in the air and poison in the food, poison in the milk, poison in the mines. We're being pummeled.
Oh no, they've poisoned my milk by pasteurizing it. They've killed the microbes in my milk. They're poisoning my milk by unpoisoning my milk.
In more ways we can imagine to demoralize.
Do they know you don't even have to drink milk? You're an adult. You don't need to drink any milk.
Over a period of time, so when things get to a critical point and everyone's screaming out for a saviour, the government's going to be there, but they were the ones that created the problem in the first place.
So as you can see, it's not just certain people or people located in certain places. No, there are multiple people around the world in different countries that are all saying they are seeing the strange fog at strange times, during times you normally do not see fog. And when they go out into this fog,
yes, it's fog o'clock.
They are feeling sick. They're getting cramps. They're getting these migraines they cannot explain. This video comes from Dana Dwyer on TikTok, who talks about actually becoming sick.
Wow, TikTok. That's the most reliable source in the world.
After being out in the fog.
Not just anyone can make a video on TikTok. It would be real embarrassing if they could, huh?
In New York.
Spent the night at my parents' upstate New York. We had come home yesterday, and by the time I got home, I was already like this. Well, I didn't lose my voice yet, but my throat was killing me. My whole body was sore. I had a really high fever. And then when I woke up this morning, I had no voice, or I sound like this.
She doesn't look sick at all. She sounds like she's intentionally doing a voice, like she's trying to sound like she... by the way, she also took the time to, even though she's ill, she took the time to get up out of bed, put on a face of makeup, get back into bed after doing her makeup and hair. But she's so sick, guys. She's so sick. She's so ill. People are lying on TikTok. They're lying. God damn it.
I've had sore throats before.
People lie on the internet all the time because they want attention, because we're insufferable as a species. Fennikagami says, these people are just self-fulfilling prophecies. When mass death starts happening in Trump's term, all these idiots will say, I told you so, even though they're the reason this happened.
Voice. While we were up there was that dense, weird fog that everyone's been saying they've been seeing everywhere. I've seen fog before.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm so upset, and this is a completely... This is a statement motivated entirely by frustration that is not reasonable at all. But I just want you to know how frustrated I am with this kind of shit. Unironically, I think if you go on someplace like TikTok and lie and intentionally make up a story like this and you get caught, I think you should go to jail. I'm not even joking. If you go out and you try and publicly cause people to panic by intentionally lying, perpetuating a mass hysteria, I think you should go to jail. I'm not saying for a long time. Maybe a week. But maybe that week you'll think, wow, was the TikTok clout worth the week I had to shit in front of other people? I don't know. I really don't. There are no consequences for lying and stirring up people. Just what are we doing? Toreador says, this is worse, the worst Maya Winky video ever. She does ASMR videos. Oh, I didn't get it. Gray says, it's indistinguishable from yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Obviously, but this was different. It almost smelled funny.
And to be clear, I'm not talking about people being wrong. People are wrong. They should still have their videos taken down. But I'm not saying you punish people just for being wrong. I am saying if you intentionally and knowingly spread misinformation, there should be consequences for that.
Thick and dense. anyone else been seeing it? And has anyone else been feeling sick, and what kind of symptoms you have? Because I just feel like a lot of weird things have been happening lately between the drones and the plane crashes and this weird fog and the unnamed sickness.
Wow, she really took time while she was this ill to do that lip gloss, too. Dillis Filler says, the normal mechanisms for policing lying, namely that your social group will have a problem with you, don't exist online where everyone is a stranger. Yeah. We need to devise consequences for this. Because it's not working without them.
That, like, everyone's getting, I don't know. And I'm not usually, like, paranoid or whatever kind of person. But it just seems like there's way too much going on. 2024 just needs to be done. Because we can't pack any more things into this year. Right?
This next video comes from Garden Glow 117 on TikTok, and she's also going to talk about how she has become sick after breathing in the air, the fog. Now, you're going to hear her call the drones Dior bags. That is because people on TikTok have now used a special word for drones, because TikTok, they are actually deleting drone videos and any mentions of drones. That actually also happened to me. I had a drone video up on TikTok and it's no longer there. So TikTok, they are scrubbing all videos and
maybe stop spreading a panic. That'd be great.
Mentions of drones.
4 bags in New Jersey sprayed the perfume in the store, and that thick fog rolled in. The air smells like chemicals. It smells and tastes like chemicals, and I taste blood in the back of my throat when I breathe the
another person who should go to jail for a week for lying.
air outside. Super dizzy, lightheaded.
I can deal with delusional people. I'll talk to delusional people all day. I think that's interesting. Someone who just lies about this shit for attention, I just hate them. I just hate them fundamentally as a person, and they should go directly to jail. Jail for a week. Go, you attention-starved shit. I don't know who didn't give you enough attention, but this isn't the way to deal with it, young lady. Directly to jail.
Nausea, coughing, everyone's throwing up.
Everyone's throwing up.
You know, I can't afford to miss work.
Everyone's throwing up
for all of this. And they said no strep, no flu, no nothing, to go home and rest. So I rested on Saturday, and today I had some errands to run before the work week started, and the symptoms came back as soon as I started breathing.
The symptoms came back as soon. I'm very serious. All of this is real. Make sure you follow me, and follow me on Instagram, okay?
Air outside, so I just want to throw that out there because I think there might be some correlation with the perfume the Dior bags were spraying and how everyone is sick now.
Now, I had a theory that the locations that people are noticing this very suspicious fog, this mist, are...
Okay, I'm done. I think that's it, chat. We've been going 3 hours. That's the last tinfoil of the year. We did it. We wrapped it up in a bow. We've done an ungodly amount of tinfoil this year. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me this year and dealing with all sorts of tinfoil and horrifying political things. Next year I don't know if it'll be better. It'll be interesting. It'll certainly be something, and holy shit, Nemesaur with a $150 tip says, my employer has given each employee $100 to donate to charities of their choice. Any suggestions for good organizations I should look towards? That's a good question. The Humane Society's good. Oh. That's the one that comes to mind first. Planned Parenthood is a really good one. Planned Parenthood's great, providing birth control and other health services. They also do trans health care, so they're great. Trevor Project's good, yeah. What was my favorite failed prediction of tin this year? Oh boy. Let me think for a second. This has got to be the last year they thought JFK Jr. was going to come back, right? Oh. The portals thing recently was pretty good too, where they thought they were going to open portals at the Vatican, but it was just doors. Bye until next year, just a peach. Where's Green Guy been, by the way? I've missed Green Guy. Tell Green Guy I said Happy New Year. All right, well, with that, we have a costume year, so thank you, Nemesaur, and everyone else who donated. We'll, get that all added up. Jesus Christ. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for another wonderful year streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube. It's a hell of a job. So I will see you in the new year for all sorts of new stuff. We'll get through it together. I'm gonna take tomorrow off, and then I might be busy the day after, but I'll be back within the next 3 days, and we'll start the new year outright. So cool beans. Let's see who we're gonna raid.
This is Milan was on.
We will raid the Zachary Mike. Have a great night, everyone. I hope you have a happy new year. Yeah. And I'll see you soon. Spend some time with your loved ones. Costume year and stream from Geek 2024 goes out big. Yeah. 2025 will be good. Middle of the decade. That's, oh god, we're almost halfway through the 20s. My life is disappearing one day at a time like the grains in sand in an hourglass. These are the days of our lives. All we are is dust in the wind. Dude. Alright, bye everyone, have a good night.